The sun is out for a Miners versus Oilers game, which almost seems like an oxymoron at this point after a week of rain and downpour on the peninsula. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Matt Sue is host to its second game in a row after spending a week on the road at the Oilers in Kenai. And Matt Sue won that series 3-1. Won last night over the Chinooks, 7-1, and now they're looking for more in a Sunday matinee. Brandon Downer, who started that first game against these Oilers, he's back on the hill. And Austin, he had a pretty solid outing.
Yeah, he had just one strikeout, but he was pretty effective overall. You look at a guy who had 3 innings of work, just 2 hits allowed, and those 3 innings might not mean much, but that was in a 7-inning game, so he did his part. He's pitched 2 good games so far. That first one, of course, an exhibition that came exactly 2 weeks ago right here at Herman Brothers Field. And this is a lineup that he's familiar with. Michael Rada, his teammate in college at Cal Baptist. So these are guys that he's familiar with, that he pitched effectively against earlier this week. So he should be in line for another solid outing today.
That's right. Downer did walk 4 batters in that showing, but no earned runs is always a positive, especially for a team like Matsu, who boasts the lowest ERA in all of the Alaska Baseball League. But moving into last night's game, the Miners did a great job of rallying, scored runs in multiple innings. That's something that they did in every game except for the last one against the Oilers. And there's only been one game this season that Matsu won by 1 run. And every single time they've won, they've entered the 9th inning, or the last inning in those 7-inning affairs, up by multiple runs. So the rallying has really worked for Matsu. What has changed in this offense that's keeping relatively the same lineup?
Well, the bottom of the order is really coming through. You look at Emilio Barreras. He's been slotting in that 7-8 spot. He's back in the 8th spot again this afternoon. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. You look at a guy like Caleb Hannes. He's positioned in that 9 spot, but he's no normal 9-hitter. He's hit safely in 7 of the last 9 games. There are no easy outs in this Miners lineup. So from top to bottom, anybody can get hits against you, and anybody can get extra base hits against you. So for Peninsula, they're in for another interesting game today because these Matsu bats are hot and they're ready to go again.
That's right. The M's have certainly figured it out at the plate, and that's a lesson that Chugiak had to learn the hard way last night. Let's take a look and listen back to everything that happened, including some clutch plays from, like you said, Caleb Hannes and Emilio Barreras. Let's roll the tape.
It is good to be back in Palmer, Alaska. For the first time in 9 days, the Miners play at home, and for the first time in 8 days, they see some sunlight alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Berg. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Christo beats him on some high cheese. There are 2 gone in the top of the first. So here's the left-hand hitting Tommy Rover, and he pops one up in the left field. Maddox Haley running towards the third baseline, makes a catch. The runner tags up. The throw to the plate won't quite get there. Callahan scores from third base on the sacrifice fly from Tommy Rover. Chugiak draws first blood. It's 1-0.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field. It's a 1-0 game in favor of the Chinooks, starting off in the top of the 4th inning. And we've got a very special guest up in here. If you're a Matsu Miners fan for a long time, you might remember the voice of Mike Janella. So I'm Jesse Cook with Austin Barach, and also Mets fans will recognize you, Mike.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back in Palmer?
It's weird, man. I tell you, you say you might recognize my voice, but maybe not. 18 years ago, the voice has changed a lot over time, but it's crazy. Yeah, I was here summer 2005, and it's my first time back here since then. It's a ton of memories, man.
This one relates to your time with the Miners. So there are 4 members of the '05 Miners who made the major leagues.
Yep.
And none of them played for the Mets. Pitch to Lancia is blown away for a ball. None of them played for the Mets, but a bunch of them did make the majors. Matt McBride, B.J. Rosenberg, Mark Zepchinski, and Michael Taylor. So now you work with the Mets.
Yeah.
Which one of these guys played the Mets most often in his career? The pitch to Lancia, low for another ball, 3-0.
So I'm gonna go, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style here, and eliminate some things. I think it's either Matt McBride because he was with the Rockies, or Zepchinski because he was a reliever in the NL for a lot of years. The Cardinals, I think, a lot of times.
3-0 to Lancia is a ball he walks.
Because of him being a pitcher, I'm going to guess Mark Zebchinski had the most appearances.
Man, you know your stuff.
Woo, look at
C
that,
is
baby.
correct. 3-1. Swung on, rope to first, Vest stabs it, throws on to third, he got him! No! Dropped, picked up again by Caleb Hannes. Darting defensive effort at first, Cooper Vest stabs a ball out of thin air and turns nothing into a double play. Caleb Hannes dropped the ball and picked it up again for the out. That's how much time Cooper Vest gave his team. Runners on second and third, one away. The 3-2, Vergara swings, lines it into center field over the head of Michael Kelly. That tails back towards the wall. It 3-hops the fence. 1 run scores in Hannes. Tucker's racing around third. He will score. Vergara into third with a head-first slide. A 2-run triple, and the Miners have the lead over the Chinooks with 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Alex Vergara goes airborne.
The 2-1 from Like is swung on dribbler to Vest. He stabs it, goes on a second to Barreras for 1 onto first. He got him! Oh, what a bang-bang play! 3-6-1. The double play, and Ethan Like and company are out of the inning. Through 6.5, the Miners still lead it 2-1. Copeland checks on first and kicks and deals home. The pitch roped into left field. That gets down. Vest circling second base, angling for third base. He's being waved home. The relay to the plate is not in time. He's safe with a head first attempt. Vergara takes third base on the throw home. And the Miners have opened it up once again thanks to the bat of Alex Vergara. It's 3-1. And he swings and drives one up the middle. Haley scores from third. Carpenter being waved home. The throw to the plate, not in time. Caden Carpenter scores as well, and Emilio Barreras has a 2-run single. The game has opened up. It's 6-1 Miners. So the payoff pitch to Young is pitter-pattered to shortstop. Barreras flips it to second. That's 1 out. The throw to first, a double play. The third double play turned by this defense today, and the Miners win it 7-1 and improve to 13-10 on the season.
It's deja vu all over again from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. For the 5th time in a week, the Miners are taking on the Oilers. Those first 4 contests all came down on the Peninsula, and the last one went the way of the Oilers, who have now won 2 straight against the top 2 teams in the ABL. But the Miners have had a solid week, went 3-1 against the Oilers, and also recorded a 7-1 win over the Chinooks last night. So we're in for a good one on this Sunday matinee. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. The Miners going up against the Oilers, and it's generally the same lineup that we saw throughout the week for Mat-Su. It's the same first 4 batters. In Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, Alex Vergara, and Steven Lancia. Tucker at second, Vest at first, Vergara in center, Steven Lancia catching. And Vergara had a great day yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. The go-ahead game-winning triple, although it came all the way back in the 5th inning. That was the difference maker. Mat-Su was down 1-0. His triple put him up 2-1, and the Miners never lost the lead after that. Then it's Maddox Haley on the left field, and he didn't start either game against the Oilers back on Wednesday in that doubleheader, but he was there all of the time. He was there all the time on July 4th in the Independence Day doubleheader. Caden Carpenter follows after him in the 6th spot. Then Landon Rogers makes his return to the lineup at the designated hitter position. Emilio Barreras is back at shortstop. He had a 2-run single last night and also fielded the ground ball that turned into the game-winning double play to finish off the frame in the 9th. Caleb Hannes has been at the 9th spot all week, but he has not been the automatic out that you would assume a 9-hitter would be. He's been the opposite. He's got hits in 4 of the last 5 games. And then it's Brandon Downer back on the hill, just like he was to start off the doubleheader on Tuesday. As for the visiting Oilers, it's Owen McElpatrick at shortstop, Drewby Pinkston in left field, Nick Costello, the second He's second in the league in batting average, and he's playing center field. He's second behind Steven Lancia. Ben Griffin is the catcher, followed up by Theo Forshey. Leighton Helfrich's in right field, batting sixth. Michael Elko at third base. Ty Thomas at the designated hitter's spot, and then it's Raisen Ujimori at second base. Pitching is Ty Correa, and it's the first time the Miners will see him. Austin, what sticks out to you about this rematch? It's the fifth time these teams are playing each other this week.
Well, what sticks out is that it's here in Palmer, first and foremost, of course.
And the sun's out.
The sun is out. It's a beautiful day for baseball. And it's downer again against this Oilers team, against Correa, who hasn't faced Matsu since June 9th. In fact, he hasn't pitched in over 2 weeks since June 22nd. So you have a guy in Downer who's pitched against this team in the last week versus a guy in Correa who hasn't pitched at all in over 2 weeks. I think that right there is the matchup to look at.
Yeah, consistency is definitely key, and that always comes with pitching, once a week at the very least. Downer making his third start in the last 2 weeks. His first one came against the Kingsmen in an exhibition, against the Monarchs rather, in an exhibition affair. And then he went on Tuesday, 3 innings, 1 run, but it was unearned. And we'll be back with the first pitch after the national anthem. So why don't you stay tuned, and we're welcoming, I guess, both Miners and Oilers fans to this affair, because there's no road broadcast for this game. So if you're listening in from the Peninsula, or if you're the family of one of the Oilers fans, one of the Oilers players, thank you for listening, and we'll carry you throughout the game. We'll be back in just a bit.
By the way, Derek, happy birthday. I understand it's your birthday today.
It's a Sunday matinee here in the Matsu Valley. The Miners taking on the Oilers. Welcome back to Herman Brothers Field. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Brandon Downer, the pitcher on the hill for Matsu. His catcher, Steven Lancia. Cooper Vest at first. Nolan Tucker on second. Caleb Hanna's at third. Emilio Barreras, the shortstop. And the outfield, the same as it's been all week. Maddox Haley in left. Alex Vergara in center. And Caden Carpenter in right. As for the visiting Oilers, due up is the shortstop, Owen McElpatrick. The left fielder, Drewby Pinkston. And center fielder, Nick Costello. Austin, Brandon Downer had a very good outing in the first game on Tuesday, on Independence Day. Went 3 shutout innings. Well, no earned runs, but he did allow 1 unearned.
That's right. That was because of an error, not his fault. But yes, 0 earned runs. He also had 0 earned runs in the exhibition 2 weeks ago against the Monarchs. So far, so good for Brendan Downer out of Cal Baptist. The rising junior at 6'5" has been nothing but solid for this team. I mean, you talk about a team that's needed that 5th starter. He certainly provided that so far.
That's right, the product out of Cal Baptist, facing a lot of his former teammates. There are 3 Cal Baptist players on this roster for the Oilers. That's Ryan Palmer, Josiah Chavez, and Michael Rada. Of course, none of them in the lineup today. All of them made their appearances last week. Rada struck out against Downer. And Brandon told us that that's what happens in intra-squad play back at Cal Baptist. He struck out Rada every single time they've faced. Owen McElpatrick leading off against Matsu. McElpatrick has 4 strikeouts, but 3 hits as well.
Leading things off for the Oilers shortstop number 3.
He's a utility player. Spent some time in the outfield, but today is a shortstop. He's batting .232 on the season. He struck out a total of 12 times, but he also has 8 RBIs, including a home run. It's a righty-righty matchup between Downer and McElpatrick. He's out of Northwestern and a native to Tampa Bay. First pitch. Swing and a miss, low. We're underway, an 0-1 count for McElpatrick. He's a rising sophomore out at Northwestern. They had a disappointing year. The pitch, he swings and pops it up, foul off to the right side. Just 13 wins this past season for Northwestern in a very long 60-game schedule.
Yeah, that's no good, and the Oilers right here still in the basement of the ABL.
That's right. The 0-2. Misses low and away. 1-2 count for McElpatrick. The Oilers, while they are at the bottom of the ABL, they have won their last 2, taking down the Bucks and the Miners, the number 1 and number 2 teams in the ABL. 3-1. Swung on and belted into right field, right at Caden Carpenter. 1 up, 1 down. That was actually the 1-2 pitch. Number 3, the 1-hitter. A lot of numbers. We can't exactly make sense of them all. Drewby Pinkston comes up to the bat. Digs in on the left side. Pinkston, also a Northwestern product. He's a rising junior. First one. Called strike. Right down the middle. Pinkston at the plate, the pitch. He swings, chops it right back at Downer on the hill. He grabs it and underhands to first. There's 2 away. Well, now it's the most efficient bat in this lineup in Nick Costello. He's second in the league in batting average at a .476 batting line. .476. And he's second to the man behind the dish, or he was until yesterday, in Steven Lancia, who dropped his batting average to .439. Downer's first pitch. Misses inside for a ball. Costello, a product of UC San Diego. He's a Triton. The pitch. He swings, chops it into deep left field. Maddox Haley in pursuit. He's got plenty of room, about 20 yards in front of the fence. He makes the catch next to his shoulder. 1-2-3 go the Oilers in the top of the first. We move on to the bottom half of the opening frame. The Miners have their top of the order due up in Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara.
Hey, folks, I want to thank some of our C-Tracks, Fake Trade. Also a reminder, folks, the Wheelbarrow Booze raffle tickets and 2022.
Welcome back into Palmer, Alaska. It's 0-0 in the bottom of the first inning between the Miners and the Oilers. I'm Jesse Cook with Austin Barach. Starting pitcher for the Peninsula is Ty Correa. The big righty is making his 5th appearance of the season. He's got a 1-1 record, but a dynamic 114 earned run average. He struck out 17 batters in 15 2/3 innings pitched, and it's not his first time going up against the Miners. He started all the way back on June 9th, went 3 2/3 shutout innings, just allowed 2 hits, struck out a trio. The Miners come up with Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, Alex Vergara, and that's been their opening 3 the last week. In fact, Steven Lancia, who bats 4th, has every time been the finish to that lineup, or finish to the first quartet. That's how it was in the 4 games on the Peninsula against these Oilers. And this might be the biggest height difference in the entire league. Ty Correa is 6'9". Nolan Tucker is 5'9". There is a full foot of difference in height between these two. Correa, the righty, Tucker, the lefty. The pitcher out of Faulkner University, he's a rising senior. Nolan Tucker from Valparaiso. The first pitch. Fastball low and away for a strike.
So what you're saying is it's David versus Goliath.
In height, sure. I'm shorter than Nolan Tucker, though, so I don't like that. The 0-1. Swings and misses. Two-seamer low and away. Had Tucker dancing out of the zone. Correa comes set again. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. Bases empty, nobody out. The pitch. Swung on. Smacked into shallow left field, but right at Drewby Pinkston. Tucker hit it shallow, but that's where Pinkston was set up. Close on the infield grass. He was about 20 yards off the dirt. So there's 1 up, 1 down, and that brings up Cooper Vest. Yesterday, the BYU product went 1 for 5. He singled and scored back in the 7th inning when the Miners put 10 batters at the plate. He batted twice in that frame, singled to open it up, but then struck out later in the inning to end it. The pitch. Misses low and away. That was, of course, a battle with the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, who sit in 4th place in the ABL, just above these Oilers by a game and a half. The 1-0, he swings and misses. Matsu sits a game out of first place behind the Anchorage Bucks. The Oilers knocked down the Bucks by a score of 11-3 last night. 1-1. Misses low and away. Matsu cannot catch the Bucks with a win today. Anchorage is not playing, so the best that the Valley can hope for is to sit a half game out of first after this affair. Correa deals a 2-1. Backdoor curveball had him swinging and missing. And again, Ty Correa has drawn a left-handed hitter out of the batter's box with a swing. Vest stepped over the white line after the pitch came through. He was so off balance. The 2-2. Curveball swung on and spattered foul off to the right.
Yeah, you can see why Correa has that low ERA 115 and that whip of below 0 at .80.
He has been strong to say the least. The 2-2. Vest swings, connects, drives out to second base, right at Rysen Ujimori. He flips on to first, and they got him. No one's reached base in this game. The Oilers went 1-2-3 in the first. The Miners at risk of doing the same, but Alex Vergara is at the plate, and he was strong yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, including a 2-run triple that gave the Miners the lead, one that they would never relinquish, beating the Chinooks 7-1. This has been the best week of the season for Mat-Su. They went on their first 3-game winning streak. First pitch to Vergara. The righty watches one high and inside. And they beat the Chinooks 3 of the first 4 games. Well, 3 of the 4 games they played in that series down in the Peninsula. They were supposed to play 5, but there was a lot of rain. The 1-0. Vergara waits on another fastball. That one high and away, and it's called a ball. Alex Vergara, a rising senior at Lipscomb. He's a native to Texas, and of course he played for the Miners last year. We've talked about it a lot. He was ABL MVP. The 2-0. Another fastball low and inside. 3-0 the count for Vergara.
We talked to Vergara yesterday after his amazing game. He said this lineup has just been clicking. It's been the perfect timing ever since he arrived back in the Mat-Su Valley.
3-0. He swings, cuts it out to short. McElpatrick fields it off the hop, throws on to first, and he got him. So Vergara, who had only walked once this season, swings on a 3-0 count, and it costs him. The Miners go down 1-2-3, just like the Oilers, and we move on to the top of the second inning. Griffin, Forshea, and Helfrich due up for the Peninsula to make their first appearances of the game. Rolling back along in the Mat-Su Valley, if you blinked, you might have missed the first inning. Both teams went down 1-2-3 to start off this game. It's 0-0 in the top of the second with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. Brandon Downer back on the hill for Mat-Su. Both times he's thrown for the Miners, it's been 3-inning outings. One was in an exhibition affair against the Monarchs, in which he didn't allow a run, and the other was in the first leg of the July 4th doubleheader against these same Oilers back on Tuesday. He went 3 innings in, no earned runs. Ben Griffin, Theo Forshea, and Leighton Helfrich due up for the Oilers. First pitch in the righty-righty matchup to Griffin is low for a ball. Ben Griffin is the catcher in this lineup. The 1-0. He swings, fouls it off to the left, hit the end of the bat. Griffin is a rising senior, Cal State Northridge, and he's no stranger to the catcher position. He played either DH or catcher in every start in the NCAA season. The 1-1 swung on, battered up the middle. Tucker fields it on the backhand, throws on to first. He got him. Nolan Tucker shrank back on the outfield. Shea.
That was an impressive fielding display out of Tucker. That ball was whistled on the ground, going fast, and he knew. You talked about the footsteps he has, the footwork. He got in position, made the backhand play.
First pitch to the lefty, Forshey, misses up high. That's right, talked about it last night. Tucker is a big soccer fan, and he told me that's where he gets a lot of his game. He uses a lot of the same footwork. The 1-0. High and away. That's a ball. Says he thinks that's what makes him different from other baseball players, is that he takes a more athletic stance to his footwork in the field, and it helps him get to balls faster and play them safer. 2-0. Forshey washes a fastball at the knees for a strike. Forshey, a rising senior at UC Davis. And he used to attend El Camino Community College. 2-1 pitch on the way. Swings, bounces up the middle. Tucker again on the outfield grass. Fields it, throws across the body. He got him. Nolan Tucker, he started back on that play, charged in, gloved it right by his knees, and fired across the body. So there's 2 up, 2 down thanks to tactful work from the second baseman for Matsu.
And Jesse, you've talked about how there's been no base runners so far. There's also been no strikeouts. All 8 outs so far this game, and no strikeouts.
Well, here's Leighton Helfrich. He bats from the right side. First pitch. He swings and cuts it foul off to the right. You're right. These pitchers are making the batters hit the ball and making quick work of them. Helfrich, another UC Davis product. He's a rising sophomore. The 0-1. Swings, chops it to third. Caleb Hannes charges, lobs it across the body to first. Got him by a step and a half. 1-2-3 go the Oilers for the second inning in a row. Brandon Downer making quick work of this Kenai lineup. We move on to the bottom of the second inning of this 0-0 game with the 4-5-6 hitters due up for Matsu and Steven Lancia, Maddox Haley, and Caden Carpenter. We'll be back. It's the bottom of the second inning of a 0-0 scoreless, hitless, and base runnerless affair. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. The Miners come up to bat wearing their all-white unis. Green and gold lettering across the chest and on the back. Green helmets. The Oilers in the field with their gray pants, black jerseys, and red script across the chest. 4-5-6 due up for Matsu against Ty Correa. Steven Lancia, the catcher, then Maddox Haley and Caden Carpenter. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Lancia waits on a fastball up high for a ball. The Matsu catcher sits at second in the ABL in batting average at a .463 clip, right behind Nick Costello, the Oilers center fielder. The pitch, he swings and pops it up to the right side, way out of play and foul. Ty Correa, not a bad mark as a pitcher either, a 114 earned run average. When you take into account everyone who started multiple games, he is by far the leader in earned run average. 0-1. Lancia swings, ropes it to short. McElpatrick gloves it, fires on to first. He got him. Theo Forshey picked it out of the dirt, but the Miners start off with another groundout. They had 2 of those last inning, and Austin, you mentioned it, there have been no strikeouts, just like there have been no base runners. That brings up the left fielder for Matsu, Maddox Haley. He's a rising sophomore out of San Diego State. Nick Costello in center field. We talked to his dad earlier, and he talked up UC San Diego, the opposing school in the finest city. First pitch to Haley, fouls it off. Left side, 0-1 count. Isn't that a great nickname for a town? Wouldn't you love to call your city the finest city?
That's too much, too high of expectations. I'd rather go with like the most mediocre city.
This is a city. That would be my slogan for it. The 0-1. Fastball at the knees, strike 2. Got 9 RBIs. He's only struck out 3. Carpenter is a rising sophomore at Utah. He rounds first but holds there. That's the first base runner of this game for either squad. Caden Carpenter, the Utah Ute, pulls through.
I was just about to say Ty Carrera is in such a groove right now. You know, that pitch sequence to Haley was just disgusting, but Carpenter
played since Tuesday in that doubleheader. The pitch. He swings, dribbles it down the third base line, and it's foul. Rogers saw action in Game 1. He went 1 for 4 against the Oilers at Oriole Park. 0-2, Carpenter runs for second. He's going to beat the throw! No! They caught him at the bag. That is by far the wrong call. Carpenter was in there before the throw even got there. That's a puzzler. But he's caught stealing for the first time this season on a pickoff attempt. I don't agree with that call in the slightest, but the umpire was looking right at the bag. So we'll have to trust him on it. Carpenter called out going for second. That ends the inning. 0-0 the score. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the visiting Oilers. We'll be back in just a moment. Top of the third inning coming your way from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. It's 0-0 with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. Brandon Downer on for his third inning of work, and he's got the 7, 8, 9 hitters, and Michael Elko, Ty Thomas, and Ryson Ujimori. All of them seeing the plate for the first time today. Righty-lefty matchup with Michael Elko, the third baseman. Downer from the windup fires a fastball low and away for a strike. Elko this season against the Miners is 2 for 12. The 0-1 misses low in on the chalk next to him. He's got 3 RBIs against Matsu. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the left side. It's a 1-2 count. Elko was struck out twice against the Miners. On Wednesday, in the second game of that doubleheader, he went 1 for 3 with a run scored, a strikeout, and 2 stolen bases. The 1-2 pitch misses low and away. 2-2 the count for Elko. Lefty digs back in. He's out of Northwestern. The 2-2 misses up high. Elko, one of 3 members of this Oilers roster from the Chicago-based school. He's a rising sophomore there, but he's a native to College Station, Texas. The 3-2. Called strike 3, low and away. Downer has his first strikeout, and the Oilers are 7 up, 7 down to start the game. 1 away, bases empty here in the top of the third.
Definitely a borderline pitch, but if you did not like that Caden Carpenter call to end the bottom half of the second, you will like that called third strike call if you're a Matsu fan.
Ty Thomas at the dish. First pitch to the righty. He swings, cuts it out to short. Pereira's fields it at the shoelaces. Digs on to first. Best caught it. 2 up, 2 down on back-to-back pitches here in the top of the third. 0-0 the score between the Miners and the Oilers. Brandon Downer is rolling along. He's retired the first 8 batters he's seen. And now it's up to Ryson Ujimori to keep the inning going. He bats from the left side. He's another UC San Diego product. And he has yet to record a hit against the Miners, although he has reached base on a walk once. The pitch. Called strike, low and away. Ujimori played against the Miners in both games on the doubleheader on Wednesday. That pitch misses low and away. In that doubleheader, he went 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He has been retired by way of the K 3 times against the M's. Downer's 1-1. Swung on, dribbled on to first. Vest fields it on the hop. Tosses on to Downer, covering the bag, and he got him. Brandon Downer, 3 innings without a base runner. He has done a fantastic job, and now we'll see in the next frame if he will go for his longest start of the year. And now it's time to get to our trivia questions in the middle of the 3rd inning. So Downer doing a good job on the hill as a right-handed starter for the Miners. Drew Smith was a right-handed pitcher for the 2013 Miners 10 years ago. Last year, he pitched 1 1/3 innings of relief in a game against the Phillies, in which he struck out 4 and walked 1, and he recorded a hold. What notable accomplishment did Smith and his fellow Mets accomplish in that game? Your hint, Austin, is that it's only happened 19 times in MLB history.
Was it a immaculate inning?
Well, we'll get the answer in the middle of the 5th inning. I can neither confirm nor deny, but make sure you stay tuned for that. So, it's the bottom of the 3rd inning here in the Mat-Su Valley. 0-0 the score between the Miners and the Oilers. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. We've got a veritable pitcher's duel going on. 1 hit between these two. Ty Correa allowed a base hit to Caden Carpenter last inning, but he was caught trying to swipe second base.
Yeah, it's been a pitcher's duel so far. It's also been a clinic for fielding ground balls. The fielders flashing the weather all over the place so far this afternoon on a very sunny day.
That's right, great weather. Didn't see that during the series earlier this week between these two. It was all rainy. Landon Rogers leading off for Mat-Su. He was up when Carpenter was caught stealing. First pitch to the righty. He swings and flies into left field. Pinkston is back on it, about 20 steps from the wall, and he makes a grab. That brings up Emilio Barreras, the shortstop for Mat-Su. His first time seeing the plate today. He had a 2-run single last night that boosted Mat-Su's lead over Chugiak in that 7-1 win. The Grand Canyon product bats from the left side. Correa comes set. He deals from the windup. 2-seamer at the knees for a strike, lone away. The pitch. Inside for a ball. Barreras has recorded a hit in 7 straight games. And he said his goals for his GCU career were to get a degree and make the College World Series, go to pro ball, the 1-1 pitch is screwball to the backstop for strike 2, go play pro ball, and then after that, or during that, become a pediatrician. Got a lot of medical interests, and that makes sense for athletes that they would go into something involving human science and athleticism.
Definitely.
The 1-2. Swings, nubs it down the third baseline. Elko is in on it, fires on the move. He got him! Michael Elko leaping across the body made the throw. The Miners have their first 2 batters retired here in the bottom of the 3rd. That's been the story of the game. Downer hasn't allowed a base runner for Mat-Su on the hill. Correa has allowed just 1, but he picked him off trying to go for a second. The 9-hitter and Caleb Hanna's up now, trying to make sure that Ty Correa doesn't go pitching the minimum. The righty out of Valparaiso at the dish. The pitch. Swings and foul tips it off the catcher's gear of Ben Griffin. Hannes has recorded hits in 4 of the last 5 games. He's been a reliable spot for Mat-Su in the 9-hole. He made his first appearance batting 9th on Tuesday, the first leg of that doubleheader, and he's been there ever since. The 0-1. Curveball misses just below the knees. Tyler Brunn told you, Austin, that it's important to have someone who's not an automatic out in the 9 spot to support the top of the order. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, high and away on the fastball.
Yeah, he did. It's been really cool to see the bottom of the order embrace where they are and keep hitting. I mean, they could very well be the 1 and 2 hitters on most teams.
Well, Barreras was the leadoff man for Matsu for a while. The 1-2 to Hannes. He swings off the end of the bat right up the middle. At second base, Ujimori picks it up on the move, fires onto first, and it's not in time. Caleb Hannes beats it for an infield single to set up the top of the order with his Valpo teammate Nolan Tucker.
And for the first time today, a batter will see a pitcher for the second time.
That's right. Yeah, both pitchers had gone the minimum before now, but King Carpenter was caught stealing second on a pickoff, so there's no promises for Hannes, although he's not exactly a base stealer. He's only done that once this season. Righty-lefty matchup. Tucker flied out to left to lead off the game for Matsu. The pitch checks a swing on a curveball inside, and that's a ball. That's the first time Tucker has seen one miss the strike zone. He was dealt 2 strikes before popping out to left. Correa comes set, pitches from the stretch. Tucker swings and nails it off the end of the bat to the left side and foul ground. Elko searching for the pop-up and foul play, and it's out. Out of play. A 1-1 count for Tucker. We talked about his quick footwork in the field. Well, he's shown that at the plate back on Tuesday in the first leg of that doubleheader. He legged out a triple to lead off the game. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Turn all the way around with that one. A 1-2 count with a runner on first and 2 away of this nothing affair between the Miners and the Oilers. It's a beautiful Sunday matinee. Blue skies, just a few clouds overlooking above, and it's about 65 degrees in the Matsu Valley. Correa's 1-2. Hannah's off for second. Misses lone away. No, that's called strike 3. Hannah's would have been out taking second, but it doesn't matter. That pitch did not look like it was very much on the plate, but nevertheless, Tucker is sent back to the dugout, as is the rest of the team. 0-0 the score as we move on to the 4th inning. The top of the order due up for the Oilers, McElpatrick, Pinkston, and Costello. But Brandon Downer has been electric. No base runners allowed. We'll be back in just a moment.
All right, 4th inning has arrived here in the Matsu Valley. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach, and Brandon Downer set to face the top of the order for the second time today. McElpatrick, Pinkston, and Costello. He's retired all 9 batters so far. Downer's first pitch of the 4th. This is outside and low for ball 1.
This is Brandon's first time venturing beyond the 3rd inning.
Still out of the windup. Downer's 1-0 was swung on, popped up down in the right field. Carpenter sachets a few steps to his left and makes a catch over his hat for out number 1.
Now batting left fielder number 2, Drew Pinkston.
So that's the second time today that McElpatrick has flied out to Carpenter there and right, and it brings up the left-hand hitting Drewby Pinkston.
And that first pitch pop out is why Downer has been so good. He's only thrown 27 pitches in this one through 3 innings.
10 up, 10 down for Downer. Pinkston shows bunt, pulls back, and it's called a strike that tags the outside corner. Pinkston grounded out to Downer back in the first inning. He entered today batting .222. He went 1 for 6 in the series against Matsu this week. He dribbles one down the first base line, but it is foul. So quickly 0-2 to Pinkston with nobody on and 1 out in the top of the fourth. Still scoreless here in Palmer. The Cal Baptist righty offers and misses low in the dirt. Outfield playing shallow for Pinkston, especially the left fielder Maddox Haley. The 1-2, outside and low. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is only the second time that Downer has taken a batter to a 2-ball count.
Wow. Here's the 2-2, and it's swung on and hit to the catcher's mitt. It rolls into fair territory. Pinkston is ostensibly safe at first, and they're going to call that an infield hit.
Well, I'm not sure you can call it, because Lancia didn't chase down the ball. That might go as defensive indifference on the catcher, and he didn't look happy about it. He motioned to the umpire that it hit his glove, and Ty LeBrun is immediately coming out to talk about that, because I thought I heard it hit the glove.
Yeah, well, that one confused me for sure. I mean, Lancia's lack of wanting to field the ball certainly says something about what he thinks happened. And now the umpires group in front of the pitcher's mound, all 3 of them.
I mean, you can't really overturn the home plate umpire on a foul ball unless you think that's what happened right away. I mean, Steven Lancia didn't even chase the ball. That's the telling factor of it. That he didn't even try to argue his case because he thought it was so obvious. And also, Drewby Pinkston didn't immediately run to first.
So Pinkston is safe at first.
Number 26, Nick Costello.
That's what the umpires have declared.
That's a rotten way to end this streak for Downer. He had retired the first 10 batters of the game. I guess that's an error on the catcher. Because I don't know how to...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
that.
I have no idea. In is Nick Costello, big lefty playing center field, and he takes a ball down low on the breaking pitch. So Pinkston is at first base, the first base runner of the day for the road team, Peninsula. And here's Costello with that super high batting average. The 1-0 framed on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count. And Costello, as we alluded to, batting .476. He's in that batting title race with the catcher, Steven Lancia, for Matsu. Downer's 1-1 waits as he checks on Pinkston at first, back with a head-first slide. Pinkston this season is 2 for 5 on stolen bases, so he's been caught several times, including one time in the series against Matsu this week. The pitch runs up high for ball 2. It's 2-1 to the lefty out of UC San Diego.
That's still I'm still kind of disturbed at the umpire's call because he also didn't make an immediate motion, which affects the catcher and the base runner.
The runner goes. The pitch is a swing and a miss. The throw down to second base. Hops on the bag. Not in time. And it kind of squirts out in a shallow right field. The center fielder, Vergara, collects it in time for Pinkston to remain at second base. So Pinkston has his 3rd swipe of the season. And after that swing and miss from Costello, there's a runner at second base. And the count is 2-2 to the 3-hitter. Downer swivels his head at second base, fires home. The pitch is clobbered, past Nolan Tucker at second base. Pinkston is being rounded. He's heading home. The throw won't be made. And the Oilers are on the board first with a Nick Costello RBI single. It's 1-0 Peninsula.
Now batting catcher number 15.
So after a really strange way that Pinkston got aboard, Downer's perfect outing now has him down 1-0. First pitch to Griffin runs upstairs for ball one. Griffin grounded out to Nolan Tucker to begin the second inning. Costello at first base. One gone. It's now 1-0 Oilers in the top of the fourth. The pitch. Checked his swing, but called a strike on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 the count. Griffin, the catcher, out of Cal State Northridge. Go to high school at Notre Dame High School like Kadeem Zhao, who had to leave the Oilers a few weeks ago with an injury. The pitch. Low. That's ball two. So Ben Griffin, the cleanup hitter, has a hitter's friendly count. He's hit one homer this season. That came on June 21st against the Bucks. He went 1-4 against them yesterday as he swings and fouls one out of play with Costello going to second base. So the center fielder has to trot back to first. Costello this season is 4 for 5 on stolen bases. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ben Griffin, 1 on, 1 out in the top of the fourth. Oilers up 1-0. Downer out of the stretch. Kicks and deals. In the dirt, stopped by Lancia. And it's a full count coming up. Pretty quiet afternoon so far here at Herman Brothers Field. The payoff pitch, runner goes. The pitch is outside, called a ball. The throw on a second base, not in time. It wouldn't have mattered with the ball. And so there are now 2 runners aboard with 1 out. The throw back to Downer actually got past him, and Lancia has to throw it back to him. So after Downer retired the first 10 batters he's faced, Pangston got on, scored after he stole a base. Costello with that RBI single brought him home. Then Griffin just walked. So here's Theo Forche, the left-hand batter, takes a strike on the outside corner. Forche, like Griffin back in the second inning, grounded out to Nolan Tucker at second base. Downer's 0-1 offering. Swung on and lifted into left field, but out of play. Quickly 0-2. The pitch. Dribbler over the first base side. Vest has it, throws on the short, but it gets past Barreras. A low throw goes into left field. The runner scores a throw on to third base. The runner is out there, but not after Costello runs all the way from second to home on that throwing error. So now there are 2 outs, but the score is 2-0 Peninsula.
Things have not gone the way of Matsu this inning, and it's epitomized by that play. Vest normally makes that play. We saw him do it last night. Just didn't work out for him.
First pitch to Helfrich is popped up in the infield. Vest calls off everybody. Standing at the mound, he makes the catch for out number 3. So, boy, was that an interesting, wacky, weird top of the fourth. It results in the Oilers scoring twice. After 3.5, Peninsula leads it 2-0 with 2-3-4 up next for Matsu. Bottom of the fourth has rolled on here alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach here in the Matsu Valley of Alaska. After 2 runs came across for Peninsula in the top half of the inning, they lead 2-0. And the hometown Matsu Miners have Cooper Vest, Alex Vergara, and Steven Lancia due up. Vest in his first at bat today grounded out to the second baseman, Yuji Mori. First pitch to him drifts below the knees for ball 1. Vest began the day batting a shade under 250, near 90 at bats. The pitch knocks it off the end of the bat as it corks to the opposing dugout. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Vest homered against these Oilers back on Wednesday, July 5th. The 1-1 tails outside ball 2. Of course, Vest also homered in June 11th's exhibition contest against the Kingsmen, but officially that July 5th homer was his first of the season, and he clobbers one in a center field. Costello ranges back, but he has plenty of room for out number 1. So another hard hit ball from Vest, but he comes up with nothing, and it brings up the right-hand batting Alex Vergara, the everyday center fielder for Ty LeBrun's squad. Vergara grounded out to short on a hard hit grounder back in the first on a play that he nearly beat out. He's got wheels. The 0-0 from Correa dribbles on to short. McElpatrick fields it cleanly, fires on the first in more time than last time for out number 2 here in the fourth.
Now batting, your catcher, number 27.
Vergara hits the ball hard.
Lancia.
Hit it right at a fielder. Not a great equation for him.
So 2 quick outs. It brings up the cleanup batter, Steven Lancia. Began the day batting .463. Correa's deal is called a strike and a front door curveball just above the knees. Lancia quickly back in the box. Correa's 0-1. Swoops away from the right-hand batter in the dirt for a ball. Nobody on, 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. The 1-1 is hit in a right field. A high fly ball makes its way into the glove of Leighton Helfrich for out number 3. Matsu goes down in order in the fourth after 4 innings. It's 2-0 Oilers. We'll be right back. We trudge along here in the Matsu Valley alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. It's 2-0 Peninsula after 4 innings to begin the 5th. Brandon Downer back in the bump, dealing with the bottom of the order. Michael Elko, Ty Thomas, and Raisen Yuji Mori. 7, 8, 9. Elko struck out looking rather his first time up, and he dribbles one off of his foot and out of play for strike one. Elko strikeout is the first and so far only K so far today for Downer. He had one strikeout on Tuesday against these Oilers, and the chopper set to second base. Tucker flips it over in time for out number one, and dances past Downer with his momentum carrying him into the pitcher for out number one.
Nolan Tucker's got really good footwork at second base, and he can turn a difficult play like that into something that looks easy. He needs to range over to his left and give it across his body with some traffic.
Righty-righty matchup here with Ty Thomas. The big righty slices one quickly past Tucker into right field. First pitch he sees, and he's on base with a single.
That looked like skipping rocks, where he threw it on the water, and then after that first bounce, it rocketed to the next one. Tucker looked like he thought he could have a beat on it, but the moment it hit the ground, it looked like it gained speed.
So 1-on-1 out. Peninsula up 2-0 in the top of the fifth. Corners playing in. The pitch to lefty Yuji Mori drifts outside for ball one. Downer out of the stretch. Fires home. Big crack. Tucker stabs it with the glove. Fires on a spiral to first base, but the throw is off the bag. Vest has to go off of it. But he was, in fact, called safe. Wasn't a clear distinction made by the first base umpire, but the throw was just off the mark, and Yuji Mori is on. There are two runners on with just one out for the top of the order in Owen McElpatrick.
Yeah, that's a rough play for Tucker to make, but the throw's offline, so that goes in the books as an error at second, despite the tricky nature.
That's right. Fastball misses away from McElpatrick, the right-hand batter. McElpatrick has been the leadoff man every time these two teams have tangled this week. Pitch catches the outside corner this time. It's 1-1. McElpatrick has flied out twice to right field. He's a rising sophomore out of Northwestern. He went 2 for 5 yesterday in the win at the Bucks with a double, 3 RBIs and 3 runs. Downer's pickup attempt at second base is no good, but it makes Ty Thomas do a headfirst slide. Against the Miners, though, McElpatrick began the day batting just 150, 3 for 20. He takes a high fastball there for another ball. It's 2-1 to the leadoff man.
And McElpatrick has gone opposite field both times, so Downer might want to consider going to that low and away well again.
The 2-1 swung at and whistled, but tailing away towards the bullpen of the Miners. It's 2-2. These Matsu fans looking for something to cheer about. Took until the 5th inning yesterday for the rally to get going for the Miners. The 2-2 pitch misses low. Runner goes to third base. The throw is on time. Lancia from his knees guns down Ty Thomas, aiming for third base. And just like that, there are 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Well, great work by Lancia, not just to get him from his knees, but also to make sure that the runner on first stayed exactly where he was. Uchimori didn't move.
So it's a full count pitch. Here we go. And it's swung out late and spoiled off the first base line out of play. So McElpatrick, after all of that, stands in the box. Now with 2 outs, 1 runner on first base. That's Yuji Mori. He reached on that throwing error by Tucker. And it's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Downer out of the stretch. Kicks and deals. Runner goes. The pitch is off the mark. A slider swooped away and low for the righty. And he's on board with the walk.
In the future, when you get to a 3-0 count on these guys with a runner on first, or a 3-2 count with a runner on first, they've run every single time. Why not just throw a pickoff attempt and try to nab him while he's already gunning for second?
It's definitely a good observation. We'll see if it comes back to haunt Peninsula later this game. So here's Pinkston, the lefty, watches a ball miss low. right on the ankle level. Pinkston grounded out in the first and reached on that weird error hit interference play with Lancia back in the fourth. Downers 1-0. Cracked to first base, but fielded by Vest on the forehand to the right of his foot, and he makes the play, steps in the bag himself for the third out of the inning. Peninsula threatens but does not score. And we will keep it right here for the answer to today's Pickaxe Pickle.
That's right, Austin. So again, the question was, former minor, 10 years ago, Drew Smith, was part of something spectacular on April 29th of last season. Pitched an inning and a third of relief against the Phillies, struck out 4, walked 1, and received a hold in that game. What notable feat did he and his Mets teammates accomplish in that game? It's only happened 19 times.
Ooh, okay, now that I'm paying more attention to the question, I think an immaculate inning wouldn't make as much sense. Can I go with a combined no-hitter?
You got to be looking at the answers to this.
No, I'm
wow.
not. I'm not. There we go.
Combined
Yep.
no-hitter. Yeah.
Yep. Because you said him and his teammates. Yep. There it was.
Yeah, last season it was Smith, Joely Rodriguez, Seth Lugo, Tyler McGill started the game, and then Edwin Diaz, the trumpets and everything, combined for the 17th no-no in baseball history, shutting down the Phillies. And what's surprising to me is that there were 3 combined no-hitters that season, one of which came at Yankee Stadium when the Astros did it to the Yankees, and then the Astros did it to the Phillies in the World Series.
Right.
They were a victim of 2 combined no-hitters that season, and the Astros broadcaster is a former Matsu minor.
Wow.
Jeff Blum is the color commentary for Houston.
There you go.
You get both ends of the coin.
And this might be a niche reference, but I remember that Houston-Philly one particularly, not because, I watched it, but also, if anybody listens to the podcast, pardon my take, one of the producers is a Philly sports fan, and he gets reminded all the time about that combined no-hitter. The Phillies got no hit. Yes, it was of the combined variety, but still, they had no hits in a World Series game, and that was just the game after they hit all those home runs.
Absolutely, and the Phillies, of course, lost that World Series. The Astros are reigning champions. They look pretty good this season, but I think the Braves probably have everyone's number right now.
Well, the Braves and the Rays are tangoing this weekend in a matchup of the 2 best records in MLB. And right now, Maddox Haley for the team with the 2nd best record right now at 13-10, the Matsu Miners. Him, Caden Carpenter, and Landon Rogers have to deal with Ty Carrera here in the bottom of the 5th, and he slices one foul down the first base line on the first pitch he sees. Haley struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. Fastball, slider against Correa back in the 2nd inning. Righty matchup. The 0-1. That fastball tags the bottom of the zone for another strike. It's 0-2 quickly to Maddox. Against the Oilers this season, Haley is 2 for 10. Of course, he did not appear in that doubleheader on Wednesday. He appeared in the doubleheader on the 4th of July. Went 1 for 7 in those 2 games with a couple of RBIs, a sac fly, 2 strikeouts, and 2 runs in that series. He's got something in his eye, so he readjusts himself and now steps back in the box. It's 0-2 to Maddox Haley. Correa resets and quickly deals the pitch. Curveball misses inside and low, ball 1.
We were just talking about no-hitters. There was one yesterday, a combined no-hitter. The
Really?
Tigers did it to the Blue Jays. Matt Manning got the start in that one.
The 1-2, breaking ball, and Maddox spoils it off the end of his bat as it trickles to the backstop. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So I guess our trivia question was actually wrong. There have now been 20 combined no-hitters in baseball history, 4 since last year.
The 1-2 again misses inside just below the arms of Haley. It's 2-2. So far today, just 2 hits for the Miners. Singles from Carpenter and Hannes. The 2-2 hit sharply to third base. Fair ball. Elko collects it and fires across the diamond just in time to beat the sprinting Maddox Haley. That's out number 1.
Of Great job by Elko. He made that look so casual, too. He caught on a backhand right by his knees, so he had to turn around. His shoulder was facing home plate, so he had to shift his body to face first. And still got it on a rope.
It's been that infield clinic today so far. Here's Caden Carpenter. He laced a single on the first pitch he saw from Carrera's first time up. Now he places a bunt. That's down the third baseline. Elko charges in, throws on the run, and he is safe. The ball could not... Rather, the first baseman, Forshea, squeezed the ball in the glove, but it ricocheted off and out of his glove when he made contact with Carpenter running down that first base line. The throw was a little off the mark, and Carpenter is safe.
Austin, I'm not sure that the ball ever even touched Forshea's glove. I think the throw just hit Carpenter while he was running to first. It caught him right on the hip.
Definitely could be the case. In any case, Carpenter is 2 for 2 on the day, has 2 of the 3 base hits for this team as Landon Rogers takes a called strike one on the outside corner. Landon back in the third, flied out to left field. 1 on 1 out, middle infield playing in, and Landon takes a high fastball for ball 1. Landon Rogers replaces Braden Rogers in the DH spot, the 7th spot in the order. That's the only change that was made in the batting order from yesterday to today for head coach Ty LeBrun. The 1-1 from Correa misses low on a 2-seamer. 2 balls and 1 strike to Landon Rogers. Landon began the day batting .242, 8 hits and 33 at-bats. He's got a double, a triple, but no home runs on the season. The pitch skips in front of the plate. That's ball 3. Landon's only game against the Oilers before today was game 1 of Independence Day, where he went 1 for 4. He has at least 2 games against all other teams in the league, and he chops one back up the middle off the glove of the tall Correa that skips past the second baseman into shallow right field. That's a single for Landon Rogers, and because of the deflection, the misdirection, Caden Carpenter ventures over to third base. Oh, what an unfortunate mistake for Ty Carrera and Peninsula.
Well, that's the type of luck you need if you're Matsu in a game like this. It's been full of small ball. Had Correa not jutted out his glove for that, that probably would have been an inning-ending double play. The ball was headed straight for second base. Ujimori was waiting on the bag. He would have beaten Carpenter there with the ball coming to him. Big break for Matsu.
It's a game of inches, and here's Emilio Barreras, the 8-hitter. He shows bunt and pops up and out of play to the backstop. It's 0-1. Barreras grounded out to third back in the 3rd inning, and yesterday it was the 5th inning that was the entire momentum flip for Matsu. A line drive double play that the Miners turned from Vest to Hannes, 1st to 3rd, that got them out of that inning. And then everything changed for them at the plate after that. Carrera checks on Landon Rogers at first base, back safely on the head first slide. Landon Rogers so far this season is 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts, but in a 1st and 3rd situation, obviously, he's more prone to steal. The 0-1 to Barreras, chopped to second, fielded, thrown to first for 1 out, and at first base, they got him on the double play. Barreras grounds into his 4th double play of the season, and that ends the inning for the Miners. After 5 innings, Peninsula still leads it 2-0 with their 3-4-5 batters due up. We'll be right back. Peninsula still leads it 2-0 after 5 innings. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach, and Brandon Downer's day on the hill is done. The starter for Mat-Su went 4 innings, allowing 2 earned runs, struck out 1 batter, walked 2. And he gives way for the ever-reliable right-hand reliever, Vinny Bianchi, number 29. Bianchi has appeared in 10 games this season with a 1.93 ERA and a 1.33 WHIP. One of the best relief pitchers in the league. His first pitch is called strike on the outside corner to the ever-dangerous Nick Costello, who last time up had an RBI single in the 4th. The 0-1, Trickler down the first base line, but fouled by about a yard. So Bianchi already up in the count 0-2. His last game was July 4th in Game 1 of that doubleheader against these Oilers. Went 4 innings, allowing 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and got the win. The 0-2 just misses off the plates for ball 1. He's dealing quickly. The pitch tags the outside corner, called strike 3. Bianchi beats Costello on a breaking ball, 1 gone in the 6th.
Now batting catcher number 15, Ben Griffin.
So here's Ben Griffin. He's 0 for 1 with a walk back in the 4th. Righty-righty matchup. And Griffin shrugged his shoulders. I think he wanted to call a time, was not awarded it. And it's a called strike down the middle. Bianchi still working quickly. The 0-1 misses inside. 1-1 the count. Man, Bianchi works fast.
Yes, he does. And Griffin not happy with the umpire. There have been some squabbles between players in the home plate ump throughout this game.
The 1-1 in there on a strike that tailed away from the right-hand batter on the outside corner. 1-2 the counts. Nobody on, 1 out. Peninsula up 2-0 in the top of the 6th. The 1-2. Fastball just misses below the knees. It's 2-2.
Remember that Drewby Pinkston base hit? Lancia was arguing with the umpire because he said it hit his glove, and the umpire made no signal until Pinkston was already at first.
The 2-2 misses high, bringing up a full count. Some sort of white fluffy mixture continues to swirl around the field. The full count is batter to hand it to third baseman, stabs it low, throws on a first in time. Man, that's a play we've seen so often from Caleb Hannes there at the hot corner. 2 quick outs in the top of the 6th for Vinny Bianchi.
Yeah, the white fluff you see floating around the field, it was there yesterday. I think it's just stuff from the white jerseys for Mat-Su.
So here is Forshea, and he ropes one in the center field to Alex Vergara on his horse, and he can't quite make the diving play. The ball trickles to the wall. Forshea in at second base, and he has himself a stand-up double. Alex Vergara was inches away from a highlight reel type of play, but Forshea has himself a double with 2 outs.
Vergara went fully airborne, parallel to the ground, just tipped off the end of his glove. He read it pretty well, but that's such a tough play to make, especially with the midday sun coming basically over home plate.
I think my hypothesis for this white floating stuff is from the trees, I want to say. Something with nature, if it were my guess.
I don't know nature that well. Just sitting out here in it.
Here's Leighton Helfrich, and he checks his swing, goes around on a slider, blown away for strike 1. Helfrich today is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a pop-up. 1 runner in scoring position, 2 outs. The pitch trails blown away from the right-hand batter, Helfrich. It's 1-1. Helfrich at a UC Davis, just like Forshea. Began the day batting .280, 7 hits in 25 at-bats. The Yankees 1-1. Outside, just misses. Ball 2.
Big day in the baseball world. The MLB draft just started, and the Pirates got Paul Skeens out of LSU.
No surprise there. The 2-1. That one misses low. It's 3-1.
Also a big day for Tyler Brunn's family. He told us to wish a happy birthday to his nephew, Kirby Wyatt Stetch. So,
That's right.
big happy birthday to him. I believe he's turning 7, so
Yes.
future MLBer right there.
Oh, yeah. The Yankees 3-1. Got him. Helfrich chases a slider, bringing up a full count. And I don't know exactly what the family tree looks like, but rest assured, Tyler Brunn is the cool uncle.
And he's about to be the cool dad with his son Brooks coming after the season.
Oh, yeah. The Yankees, payoff pitch. Dips just below the knees. Ball 4. And there are 2 runners aboard with 2 outs for Michael Elko.
Now batting, third baseman number 12.
Elko's got an athletic family. His dad is a football coach at Duke, Mike.
Yes, before that, the DC at A&M.
And that's where he was born, in College Station.
So here's Elko, righty on the hill, lefty at the dish. The pitch, roped foul along the third base line. Elko today, strikeout in the 3rd and a ground out in the 5th. Began the day batting 170. Now he's 9 for 55. The 0-1. Catches the outside corner, strike 2. Bianchi began the day against the Oilers with a 0.69 whip across 2 appearances. His 0-2 sliced down the line but out of play, hitting the garage behind the third base stands. It's still 0-2.
Way to protect the count for Elko, but that pitch was not going to be a strike. He could have laid off it.
Bianchi dangling that right arm, trying to get out of the jam. 2 on 2 outs. 2-0 game, top of the 6th. His 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Catches the outside corner again. Michael Elko frozen at home plate. Bianchi earns his 2nd strikeout of the frame. It remains 2-0 through 5.5. We'll be right back. Nine, 1-2, due up for Matt Sue, Caleb Hannes, Nolan Tucker, and Cooper Vest. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. Peninsula still up 2-0. Both those runs came back in the 4th inning. Hannes today got on base with an infield single back in the 3rd inning. Ty Carrera still on the mound for the Oilers. So Carrera still pitching strong. The righty deals, and Hannes batters it down the line, but foul.
At this point, why would you take Correa out of the game? He's been so strong. He's only allowed 4 hits, and only one of those runners has made it to third base.
Correa's 0-1. Breaking ball just too far inside. It's 1-1. Correa is out of Faulkner University, home of the Eagles. He's a rising senior there. Hails from Riverview, Florida. Did not pitch for Faulkner this past season. The 1-1. Tags the outside corner on a breaking ball. It's 1-2 to Hannes. He had 11 appearances in 2022 with an over 12 ERA. Much better so far this season, obviously, in the ABL. The pitch sails outside and low. Count evens up at 2-2. Hannes began the rally yesterday with a bloop double back in the 5th. Now he's here leading off the bottom of the 6th. The pitch. Slices one softly to the right side of the infield. This will be a close play at the bag, but Correa steps on the bag just before Hannes gets there. One gone on that 3-1 putout.
Those long strides definitely help Correa on those close plays at first. Theo Forche drawn off the bag. There's no way he's going to get there, so Correa had the good instinct to run over there, but hard to outrun a 6'9" athletic guy when you're Caleb Hannes.
So here's Nolan Tucker, the leadoff man, 0 for 2 so far today against Correa. The 0-0 trickles between the wickets of the catcher Ben Griffin for ball 1. Tucker went just 2 for 12 against the Oilers in the Kenai trip. The 1-0 misses low and inside, ball 2. This marks the 3rd time through the order now, starting here with Tucker for the Miners. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Correa's 2-0. It's the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody on, 1 out. It's Peninsula up 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch slices down the left field line. That's back, and that's a fair ball down the left field line. Pinkston grabs it in the corner, but Nolan Tucker scampers into second base with a stand-up double. Perhaps that might just start the rally for Matsu.
Tucker had his last set of extra base hits against the Oilers, this same team, in the first leg of the doubleheader on Tuesday, July 4th. Same week, comes back with his first hit since then, and of course, it goes for extra bases.
Cooper Vest.
So with a runner in scoring position, Cooper Vest stands in the lefty batter's box representing the game-tying run here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Correa's pitch popped up but out of play down the third base line. A fastball that was tailing away from Vest, the lefty. Vest today 0 for 2, ground out and a line out. That line out went to the center fielder, Nick Costello, back in the 4th inning. Correa's 0-1 offering, swung at, popped up in a shallow center field. Costello has enough room, and he actually hands it off to Yuji Mori, who runs in from second base, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 outs in the 6th.
Your center fielder, number 16, Alex.
This is your second best opportunity if you're Matsu since Caden Carpenter making it to 3rd with 1 away in the 5th. That ended with a double play to end the inning. Now just 2 away for Alex Vergara. He's had a strong bat. 3 RBIs yesterday alone. You need him to put something into the outfield to get that first tally marker.
Absolutely. Ready matchup. Correa deals a curveball right down the middle for strike 1. Vergara today, however, has grounded out to shortstop in each of his first 2 plate appearances. Began the affair batting .276. He's now 8 for 31 on the season. The 0-1 swung at and rolled over down the third base line. It's 0-2. Correa this past season, Vergara at Lipscomb, 12 doubles, a triple, and 23 home runs. So far in the ABL, 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. The 0-2. Cut at. Trickler down to the second baseman, Yuji Moore. He fires on the first in time and on target for the 3rd out. So Matsu puts a runner in scoring position on that double from Nolan Tucker down the left field line, but nothing comes out of it after 6 full innings. The road team still leads it 2-0. We'll be right back.
Did you miss us? Well, we're back. Top of the 7th inning, the Miners in the field trailing 2-0 to these Oilers. Vinny Bianchi back on the bump for his second inning of relief work, and he's got the 8-9-1 hitters, and Ty Thomas, Bryson Ujimori, and Owen McElpatrick with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. Thomas is 1 for 2 in this game. He singled last time up, but that was off the starter, Brandon Downer. First pitch, the righty watches one inside, almost knocked him on the belt, but not quite. A 1-0 count. Bianchi sets again the 1-0. This is blown away for a ball. We talked about it before. Vinny Bianchi works really rapidly on the hill. It only takes about 15 seconds between pitches when he gets in his rhythm. The 2-0. High and inside, called a strike. Thomas turned away from it, but the umpire kept him in check. And Thomas this season has struggled. He's batting at an .071 mark. The 2-1. Misses inside and plunks him right on the hip. So Thomas is aboard with his 5th hit by pitch of the season, and the Oilers and the Miners are the 2 most battered teams in the Alaska Baseball League when it comes to hit by pitch totals. The Miners have been hit 24 times, the Oilers 26. Now 27 with that. That brings up Bryson Ujimori, the second baseman for Kenai. He's 0 for 2, but he reached on an error last time up. Righty deals to the lefty, he squares to bunt, but pulls back as that one missed below his knees. Ujimori hasn't had a much better campaign than Thomas. He's batting just .111 entering today. He has struck out 4 times. Bianchi from the stretch. This is up high. 2-0 count. Of Ujimori's 4 Ks this season, 3 of them have come against the Miners. 2 of them arrived on Wednesday in the second leg of that doubleheader. 2-0. Squares to bunt, but pulls back again. Bianchi's curveball doesn't find the zone low and inside. It's a 3-0 count to the 9-hitter with the top of the order on deck and McElpatrick. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-0 Oilers, top of the 7th. Bianchi settles in. He kicks and deals. And he missed inside. There was no signal from the home plate umpire. Ujimori took a moment before taking his gloves off, but that is ball 4.
So that means Ujimori probably thought that was a strike, given how long he waited. You see a lot of batters instantly throw the bat and trot on to first, assuming the walk call is going to happen.
Yeah, that looked close to me. I don't think Vinny Bianchi thought it was a ball either. He shook his head after the umpire made no signal. McElpatrick batting from the right side. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts on a walk. The pitch, he squares to bunt, lays it down foul off to the right side. We saw a lot of bunt attempts with runners on first and second from the Chinooks last night right here at Herman Brothers Field. Every time they got runners on first and second to start the inning, which happened 3 times in that game, they laid down a bunt. Only 1 time did that result in a run being scored later in that inning. Righty-righty matchup, corners in. The 0-1 pulls back on a bunt as that missed up high. The Oilers' 2 runs came around during the 4th inning. Drewby Pinkston had a controversial single. Steven Lancia argued that the ball hit his glove before entering the field of play, but the umpire called it a fair ball. The 1-1. He squares to bunt, lays it right back at the pitcher. Bianchi fields it, lobs on to first. Tucker covers the bag and makes the catch. Both runners advance, so with 1 away, there's 2 men in scoring position for the Oilers, and their 2-hitter in Drewby Pinkston.
Now batting left fielder number 2, Drewby Pinkston.
That hit for Pinkston in the 5th inning was his only one. He's 1 for 3 with a ground out to the mound and a ground out to first. He stole second later in that inning and scored. Nick Costello, who's in the on-deck circle, brought him around with a base hit before he scored himself. The pitch. The lefty swings, cuts it down the first base line, and foul.
And the infield is in now, trying to preserve a 2-0 game.
Matsu has only trailed for a significant period of time once this past week, and it was against these Oilers in that last game of the series. The 0-1 is a curveball blown away for a strike. Bianchi struck out a pair last inning. The 0-2. Missed up high and away for a ball. Vinny is making his 11th appearance of the season, which is more than any other pitcher in the ABL. Second is Ethan Lyke of the minors at 10. The 1-2. Swung on and cut to the backstop.
Oh, easy there, Nelly.
Count remains at 1-2. Lyke, who pitched yesterday, went 5 innings of relief. 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. Came in clutch with those 50 total pitches. Yeah, he averaged 10 pitches an inning in the minors' 7-1 win over the Chinooks. He entered in the 5th inning and carried it the rest of the way. Bianchi's 1-2 hangs up high and away. Count evens up at 2-2. Pinkston hasn't had much success against the minors. He's got 3 hits in 11 plate appearances, in 11 at-bats, rather. The 2-2. Swings up high for ball 3. While Pinkston hasn't done a lot swinging the bat, he does have 5 walks against the minors. He has yet to strike out against Matsu. The 3-2 misses away, ball 4. A drawn-out walk loads the bases for the Oilers with 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning. Peninsula leads 2-0, and they've got the 3-hitter up in Nick Costello, who leads the Alaska Baseball League in batting average at .476. That heralds a mound visit from pitching coach Steve Hecker to talk to Bianchi. He just transferred to Notre Dame. He'll be leaving the team on Thursday to start his grad program. He doesn't know if he'll play baseball yet for the Fighting Irish, but he does note that he will be a business major for his graduate program, and he's got to start his classes, so that takes precedence over summer baseball.
Unfortunately.
And he could use an economics lesson on the hill right now because he's been a little too liberal with his pitches going out of the zone. He could definitely learn to be a little more conservative with that pitch bank account. I guess the analogy sort of runs out there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he would love to be more efficient here. I mean, this has been a weird inning for him. The hit by pitch, the walk, a sac bunt in the walk. But, you know, a hard hit ground ball that turns 2, leaves all of that.
Nick Costello comes up to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. His team, the Oilers, leads 2-0. Costello had some good news earlier this week. His cousin Ryan Kreidler of the Detroit Tigers will make his return next week after a hernia. The pitch misses up high for a ball. He had muscle core surgery, but he'll be back with a rehab stint with the Toledo Mud Hens, the Tigers' AAA affiliate. The 1-0. Costello swings and pops it up on the infield grass. A blessing for Matsu. Third base side. Caleb Handes is over on it. Right next to the mound, he makes the catch, and there's 2 away. They retire arguably the most dangerous hitter in the Alaska Baseball League right now. And that brings up Ben Griffin, the catcher, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Griffin has yet to record a hit today. That has not stopped him from being a dangerous force against the minors this season. He's 5 for 18. That means just under a third of the time he comes up to the plate, he's getting a hit. He's got 2 RBIs against the green and gold. The pitch to the righty slides in for a strike. So whatever Steve Hecker has said to his pitcher Bianchi has worked through the first 3 throws out of the mound visit. Bases loaded. 1 away. 2-0 Oilers, top of the 7th. The pitch. He swings, grounds it to short. Barreras fields it, throws over the bag. He got him. And that ends the inning. So Matsu takes it to the 7th inning stretch, making jelly out of a bases-loaded jam. 2-0 Oilers remains the score as we move on to the bottom half of this 7th frame. 4, 5, 6 due up for Matsu and Lancia, Haley, and Carpenter. We'll be back in just a moment. 2-0 Oilers. You've been taken out to the ball game through this 7th inning stretch. The Oilers up 2-0 over the Matsu Miners with Austin Barach on Jesse Cook. Ty Correa going strong. He's gone 6 shutout innings, only allowed 4 hits. Rather, he's only allowed 5 hits. And that means that the Miners have their work cut out for them. But it's up to the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in Steven Lancia, Maddox Haley, and Caden Carpenter. And Lancia has been just about as dangerous as they come when it comes to getting on base. He entered this game with a .463 batting average. Righty-righty matchup. Correa into the windup. He deals. Curveball misses high and inside. Correa is an imposing figure. He stands all of 6'9". The 1-0. Skips Lone away for a ball.
What if I told you that Lancia was due 0 for 2 in that second game on July 5th, 0 for 2 yesterday, 0 for 2 so far today?
Could be. 2-0. Called strike at the knees, Lone away. We know that Lancia has the power. He battered 2 home runs earlier in this season. He had 7 for UT Rio Grande Valley in the NCAA season as he watches a strike at the knees. The count evens up at 2-2. Correa into the windup. He fires. Skips up Lone away for ball 3. Lancia settles back in, crowding the plate on the right side of the box with a closed-off stance at the back of the box. 3-2. He swings, grounds it out to the third base side. It eats up McElpatrick at short, and he can't make the play. A bad hop forces an error, and Matsu has its first runner of the inning aboard. And that brings up Maddox Haley. He's 0 for 2. You talk about being due. He reached base in each of the first 19 games this season and then went silent in the second affair on July 4th. Haley, of course, played last night after skipping out on July 5th. He reached base on a walk and a dropped third strike, but he has no hits since the first game on Independence Day back on Tuesday, today being Sunday. Righty-righty matchup. Correa from the stretch. This is up high for a ball. Haley, a rising sophomore at San Diego State University. Correa, rising senior at Faulkner. His 1-0. Swung on and driven to deep center field, but there's a lot of room for Costello. He's right in the middle of the outfield, and he makes a two-handed grab. If Haley sends that to any other part of the yard, he might have a chance, but it's 390 feet to straightaway center. And Haley hit it right on the screws, but right there. That brings up Caden Carpenter. He's been Matsu's most reliable player today with a pair of singles in his 2 at-bats. The right fielder digs in on the left side. He's got Lancia on first, 1 away. The Oilers lead 2-0. The pitch. Check swing and a strike right down the middle. And with that out, Correa has now gone his longest appearance of the season. He pitched 6 innings against the Bucks on June 22nd. That makes it 6 1/3 today. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Correa has been dynamic this season. He entered the game with 17 strikeouts. While he hasn't recorded very many today, just 2, he's held the Miners to 5 hits in 6 1/3 innings. From the stretch. Fastball misses high and away for a ball. 1-2 count for Carpenter. The Utah native is donning a pair of sunglasses while in the box. Sunlight today peeking over the press box behind home. The 1-2, and Carpenter swings out of his shoes for strike 3. Off-speed pitch had him early, Lone away, and that makes it 2 out. The runner on first for Matsu, and Landon Rogers 2 up. The right-handed hitting designated hitter recorded a single to right field last time up, but he was caught in the middle of an inning-ending double play at second base as a following batter. The pitch to the righty. He swings, lines it down the left field line. That ball is fair. It hugs it, and it meanders to the foul pole. Carpenter charges. Lancia charges into third. Landon Rogers has a double and keeps the inning alive. Took the first pitch he saw on the inner half of the plate and chugged it down the left field line. Now Matsu has two men in scoring position, which means that the go-ahead run is at the plate, and Emilio Barreras. Well, he's had a rough go of it today. He's 0 for 2, and he hasn't left the infield. A ground out to third, and a sharp grounder into a double play that ended the fifth inning. First pitch to the lefty. This is up high and away for a ball.
Okay, important note right here. Yesterday, in the seventh inning, with runners at second and third, Barreras had a 2-run single. Same spot right here, but the score a little bit different. Matsu was ahead by a little bit. Now, Barreras, a single would potentially tie it.
Well, you could really use that from him. There's a mound visit for the Peninsula crew to talk to Correa. And this is the first time that the Miners have two men in scoring position at one time today. Emilio Barreras, you mentioned that RBI, a 2-run single yesterday that made such a difference late in the game. Matsu could really use some of his magic. He leads the team in RBIs. Emilio Barreras has been the ideal hitter for Matsu. Entered this game batting right around 293. He's got 17 ribbies. Two men in scoring position, two-way, 2-0 Oilers. The pitch. This is up high, a 2-0 count. It's the bottom of the seventh inning. Matsu has not had a flair for the dramatic when it comes to the ninth, but the seventh and eighth, they've mounted a few memorable rallies, all of them against the Glacier Pilots. The 1-2, he swings, lines it up the middle. That's down for a hit. In comes Lancia to score. Rogers rounds third, but holds a quick relay from Costello to the plate, but the Miners now trail just 2-1. Some two-out magic in the bottom of the seventh.
And that's like the exact same type of hit that Barreras had yesterday in the bottom of the seventh. Right back up the middle. A shot of a hit right back up the middle.
And it worked to the tune of 1 run. Landon Rogers couldn't quite make it around third. Third base coach Kyle Watson held him there. Now the task falls to the 9-hitter and Caleb Hannas. He's already recorded 1 hit today on the infield grass out to second base. Righty-righty matchup, runners on the corners. The pitch waits on a fastball up high. Nolan Tucker waits on deck as the leadoff man in this lineup. He doubled his last time up, so the Miners definitely have some good mojo working their way here in the later innings. Barreras on first, Rogers on third, 2 away, 2-1 Oilers. The pitch, Hannes swings out in front of a front door curveball for strike 1. Matsu is now out hitting Kenai 7-6. They're equal in the error department, 1-1. The pitch in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Rogers races home. No throw to the plate. He's in there with a steal. This game is tied 2-2. Barreras already takes second base. Landon Rogers shows off the base Q acumen.
Landon Rogers pumped his fist in a huge celebration after scoring that game-tying run. Wow, was he fired up.
So a wild pitch brings him home. The game is tied. Emilio Barreras represents the go-ahead run out on second base after the wild pitch, and Caleb Hannes is ahead in the count 2-1. Yeah, baseball base-running IQ. Call that base Q for Landon Rogers. He knew just what to do the moment he saw the pitch scamper away from the catcher. 2-1. Swings, hits it off the inside part of the bat, pops it up next to first base, and in on the play is Theo Forche. Matsu rallies and ties the game, but can't move anyone more across. It's 2-2 as we move on to the 8th inning. Due up for the Oilers are the 5, 6, 7 hitters in Forche, Helfrich, and Elko. We'll be back in just a moment for this 2-2 affair. High heat has joined the conversation in the Matsu Valley as Will Rizzo replaces Vinny Bianchi on the hill. Rizzo known for his sneaky fastball that has crept up to 97 miles per hour this season. It's a 2-2 game after the Miners scored a pair in that last inning. Steven Lancia made it on an Emilio Barrera single, and Landon Rogers scored on a wild pitch to even up the score. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. It's the top of the 8th inning from Herman Brothers Field. The 5, 6, 7 batters due up for the Oilers, and Theo Forche, the first baseman, Leighton Helfrich, the right fielder, and third baseman Michael Elko. Between them, there's only one hit, and it came off the bat of Forche. He laced a double into center field just beyond the diving reach of Alex Vergara, Matsu's center fielder. Rizzo this season has gone 9 innings. He's got an earned run average of 3, and all 3 of those runs came across in a game against these Oilers earlier this week. That was the second leg of the doubleheader on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was easily Rizzo's worst outing of the year. I mean, prior to that, in his previous 7 outings, 0 earned runs. So at some point, the dynamite pitcher, had a mess up, but he's back on the mound right here. Tyler Brunn, trust him.
Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch. Catches the lower part of the zone for strike 1. Yeah, Rizzo's worst appearance of the season, and yet Matsu still earned the victory in that game, 7-6. The pitch misses up high for a ball. 1-1 count for Theo Forche. Rizzo still has a strong strikeout to walk ratio. The 1-1 rather. Swing and a miss. Behind the fastball, it's a 1-2 count. Rizzo with just as many strikeouts as walks, it seems at times. He's got 10 strikeouts, 11 walks, so he could stand to lose a bit in the BB column. The 1-2 misses up high and away. But for a while, he was the league leader in earned run average at 0 through his first 7 appearances. The 2-1 swung on, bounced into left field for a base hit. Forche is aboard, his second knock of the game. And make amends for the mistakes with the balls and strikes. The scoreboard here at Herman Brothers Field was very much behind and tricked me. So that was a 2-2 swing that he hit into left. That brings up Leighton Helfrich. The right fielder is 0 for 2 with a walk. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-2 the score in the top of the 8th. Rizzo comes set. He fires from the stretch. Squares to bunt, but pulls back. The curveball lands for a strike high and away. Caleb Hannes and Cooper Vest, the corner infielders for Matsu at third and first respectively, were both very much in on that play. They ended up within 30 feet of the batter. Rizzo's 0-1. Curveball front door for a strike. 0-2 count for Helfrich.
Rizzo's been more prone to throwing that curveball. He has that power fastball, but he's developed that off-speed pitch more and more as the season has progressed.
That's right. It's worked to perfection at times. The 0-2. Helfrich swings and nails it off the end of the bat to the backstop. He stays alive for that foul ball. It's an 0-2 count. Helfrich has been the victim of 7 strikeouts this season. Rizzo, a strikeout pitcher, but he does a good job of forcing contact. In his first save, that shutout win against the Chinooks, he forced a double play to win it. The 0-2. In the dirt, skips away from Lancia to his left. Forche breaks for second. He's in without a throw. First wild pitch of the game for a Matsu arm.
And that's Rizzo's third wild pitch of the season.
The count stands at 1-2 for Helfrich with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. The righty fires. Misses low and away. The fastball didn't work. Helfrich has also worked 1 walk this season. Well, 2 including his last plate appearance today. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Rizzo corks it inside on the knees for strike 3, and there's 1 away with a runner in scoring position in the top of the 8th of this 2-2 game. That brings up Michael Elko. If you like strikeouts, he's been your guy because he's gone down by way of the K twice in this affair. He's 0 for 3. That was Rizzo's 11th strikeout of the season. He comes set and deals. Swing and a miss on the front door curveball to lead off this at-bat. Ty Thomas awaits on deck for the Oilers. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Also reached on a hit by pitch last time up in the 7th. Rizzo's 0-1. Lazy swing and hits the end of the bat to foul it off Lancia's catcher's gear to make it an 0-2 count. Rizzo, the Nebraska product, peers in and comes set on the hill. Glove at the letters. He stares back at second, throws home the 0-2, misses up high and in. Elko recoiled. The lefty batter fell out of the box, dodging that pitch. Forshea is the runner on second. Rizzo resettles on the hill, the far right of the rubber. The 1-2. He swings, chops it right back in the mound. Rizzo catches the pop-up grounder, fires onto first, and Vest picks it, but it does move up Forshea to third, so with 2 away after the work of art that was at fielding from Rizzo. That brings up Ty Thomas. He's got 1 hit today already.
That was something out of Rizzo. He scooped it up and immediately went to first without planting his feet, and Vest had to make a pick there. Potentially game-saving pick. If that ball got by him, probably would have been the game-leading run for Peninsula.
Rizzo's first pitch to Thomas on the way. Misses up high for a ball. This might be a scenario where you pitch around the batter because Bryson Ujimori on deck is a 9-hitter, and he has not had a positive day. Sure, he worked a 4-pitch walk against Bianchi, but besides that, he's 0 for 2. The 1-0 pitch dances in for a strike on the inner half. It's a 1-1 count for Thomas. Rizzo, though, as we know, is not one to shy away from pitching to batters. Brings a lot of intensity and even jars words with the other team. The 1-1 misses up high and in and catches Thomas on the shoulder, so that's his second hit by pitch in his many plate appearances. And it puts runners on the corners for Ujimori with 2 away.
That's also Rizzo's second hit by pitch of the season. The first one came against these Oilers on July 5th when he hit Truby Pinkston, the second batter that he faced in that 7th inning.
Well, Pinkston had a rough go of it in that series. In the last game, he did not record a single at-bat because he reached on a walk and a pair of hit-by pitches in one game. Ujimori digs in on the left side. First pitch to the 9-hitter. Called a strike right down the middle. The curveball had him looking. It's 2-2 in the top of the 8th inning. Matsu tied up the game in the last frame with an RBI hit from shortstop Emilio Barreras, and the designated hitter Landon Rogers swiped home on a wild pitch. Rizzo's 0-1. Runner off for second. Fastball at the knees for a strike, and there's no throw to the bag. Thomas is in easily with a stolen base. Rizzo, however, is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Ujimori has already struck out 3 times against the Miners this season, 2 in the last game, but none today. The 0-2. Fastball misses high and in. The chin music didn't sit too well. First base is open. There are runners on second and third with 2 away in the top of the 8th. It's a 2-2 game. These teams are even in the hit column at 7 and the error column at 1 as well. The 1-2. Curveball missed, blown away. Rizzo was working with assistant coach Kyle Watson earlier this week in Kenai, and he told him that if he could develop his cutter, that would really make him a dynamic pitcher. Trying his off-speed stuff there. The 2-2. Blown away, just missed. A full count for Ujimori. McElpatrick, the leadoff man, awaits on deck. He's 0 for 2. Reached on a walk back in the 5th on a 7-pitch plate appearance. The payoff to Ujimori. High and in, ball 4. Rizzo has had a walk problem this season. That's his 12th.
Now batting, shortstop number 3.
This being his 9th appearance. His 10th inning. The bases are loaded for McElpatrick. And pitching coach Steve Hecker makes a trip to the rubber to talk to Rizzo, and rightfully so. This is, without a doubt, the biggest at-bat of the game.
Oh, yeah. This is a big-time spot here. And it'll be especially big for Matsu and the momentum if Rizzo can get an out here against McElpatrick. Because you just tied up the ball game in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And now here in the 8th, with the bases loaded, a big-time strikeout or line out or what have you can really carry momentum and positive energy back in the dugout.
Well, Matsu had one of those momentum-changing plays yesterday to ensure the win. Cooper Vest turned a line out into a double play, or a line drive into a double play. He caught a screamer at first and doubled off the runner at third. Matsu responded by taking the lead the next inning. McElpatrick on the right side of the plate, Rizzo the righty as well. Bases loaded, 2-away. The first pitch of the AB is low for a ball. There is some light action in the Matsu bullpen. Both relief pitchers, righty Larry Westall and righty Preston Shadone, have started to stretch beyond the rubber. Rizzo's 1-0. Misses high and inside for a ball. That's now 5 straight pitches that have missed the strike zone. Bases loaded, 2 away. The game is tied at 2-2 in the top of the 8th inning. The leadoff man at the plate. Rizzo's pitch. Misses low and in, ball 3.
You heard right before that pitch from the Peninsula dugout, they said, pressure's on him, 3, telling McElpatrick, let Rizzo throw a strike. Big time pressure situation right here.
3-0 pitch, he deals. Fastball right down the middle. It's a 3-1 count for McElpatrick. Big moment for Rizzo. He needs to battle back. And here he goes, the 3-1. Swung on, popped up behind first base, and foul ground. Vest in pursuit, but it's way out of play. It's not the Kentucky Derby, but these players will be off to the races with the pitch. It's a full count, 2 away, tie game, top of the 8th. You've got your leadoff man at the plate if you're an Oilers fan. You've got one of the fastest pitchers in the ABL on the hill for Matsu.
Lancey just talked to Rizzo. You got to wonder, was that to tell him throw the fastball again or throw the curveball?
Well, we'll find out here. The 3-2, front door curveball misses up high. The Oilers take the lead 3-2. Rizzo's 4th earned run of the season, and after he went 7 scoreless appearances, now in back-to-back outings, he's allowed a run. 3-2 the Oilers lead, and it's a 2-hitter, Drewby Pinkston, to continue.
And the home crowd wanted that to be called a strike. Definitely a close pitch.
Just above the belt. The pitch to the lefty. Curveball misses low. Rizzo nods on the hill and comes set again. The righty into the windup, deals the 1-0. Fastball low. Matsu has fallen to the walk bug many times this season. Their pitching staff has already walked 5 today. The pitch, called strike at the knees. 7 walks for the pitching staff. There were 5 when Rizzo entered. 2-1 pitch. Check swing, in on the knees, called a strike anyhow, and Rizzo has battled back. It's a 2-2 count. The bases are loaded with 2 away, a 3-2 lead for the Oilers. Matsu, while they tied the game in the bottom of the 7th, has yet to take the lead. He deals. This is high and away. This game was off to a roaring start as far as speed. We were through 6 innings in an hour and a half. Now 2 hours. The 3-2 pitch misses inside, ball 4. 4-2 Oilers, back-to-back walks, gives them a pair of runs. It's hard to be perfect every time you go out to the hill. And Rizzo was so strong through his first 7 outings, but something different today. Here comes the 8th batter of the inning, Nick Costello.
Costello's dangerous. His 2 homers this season have both come against the Miners.
That's right. First pitch. This is up high and away. One of those came right here at Herman Brothers Field in that 15-1 drubbing of Matsu at the hands of Kenai. Rizzo's 1-0. Fastball low and in for a strike.
It's a big pitch. You got to have that 1-1 much better than 2-0, especially after walking the last 2 batters.
The Nebraska product goes into the windup. He misses low and away, and it's a 2-1 count. Matsu leads the season series against these Oilers 4-2. The 2-1 pitch is called a ball low and in. They lost the last game at Herman Brothers Field to these Oilers. Lost the last game on the Peninsula as well. Three and 1 the count. Rizzo into the windup. He fires. Called strike, high and away. And that makes this the 4th straight full count for a Peninsula batter. That's not very sustainable as a pitcher. Runners off. The 3-2 misses up high and away, ball 4. Another run comes home by way of a walk. And now Mario Bejarano, the lefty, is warming up for Natsu. It's a 5-2 lead for the Oilers. The bases remain loaded. And that's it for Rizzo. Tyler Brunn walking out to the hill. Bejarano charges off from the pen. We'll be back in just a moment. 5-2, the Oilers lead with the bases loaded and 2 away in the top of the 8th. Come back to you in the top of the 8th inning. Jesse Cook and Austin Barach with you. 5-2, the Oilers lead the Miners with the bases loaded and 2 away. There's a new pitcher on the hill for Matsu. Mario Bejarano, the lefty out of Central Arizona Community College, replaces Will Rizzo. He walked 4, allowed 1 hit, and thus far allowed 3 runs, but Rizzo was responsible for all 3 men on bases right now. First pitch from Bejarano to Ben Griffin is high for a ball. Griffin is the right-handed hitting catcher, and he's 0 for 3. He has not left the infield yet. He grounded out to second, walked, grounded out to third, and grounded into a fielder's choice. The 1-0 misses high and in. Bejarano threw 5 pitches in his only appearance against the Oilers in the series earlier this week. He recorded a strikeout. 2-0. This is up high, ball 3. Matsu has walked 4 straight batters, and Bejarano's first 3 pitches have all missed above the zone. This was a tie game when the inning started. 3-0 pitch, ball 4. 6-2 the Oilers lead. They've now batted around here in the 8th inning with just 1 hit. And that brings up Theo Forche, who had that.
First baseman number 17, Theo Forche.
Five straight walks. Forche bats from the left side. The first pitch to him slides into the zone for a strike. Bejarano's 0-1. Another slider for a strike, blown away. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes. The Oilers have scored 4 runs this inning, all of them by way of bases loaded walks. Bejarano deals. Slider inside, hammered into right field. Forche has his second hit of the inning. It brings home a run. Throw to the plate to catch the second runner is behind him. 2-run score, and it's an 8-2 lead for the Peninsula. It was a tie game with 2 outs 6 batters ago. And that brings up the 11th hitter of the inning in Leighton Helfrich.
Now batting right fielder number 13, Leighton Helfrich.
Runners on first and second, still with 2 away. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch. Front door slider for a strike. Griffin on second base. Forche on first. The pitch misses blown away for a ball. Bejarano's 1-1. Another slider, front door for a strike. It's a 1-2 count to Helfrich. And Matsu 1 strike away from escaping this inning.
Griffin stole third base as well.
Pitch. Foul tipped off the gear of Steven Lancia. Well, at this point, if you're Matsu, while you are trying to stay in this game, you sort of don't care about the runners on base anymore because the objective has turned into just getting back to the bats and making sure your fundamentals are right on the hill. It's the top of the 8th inning. 6 runs are by no means insurmountable for the Miners, but it's just disheartening. Runner off for second. He's in there. Pitch comes in. Fouled off to the right side, now to play. So that means that Forche will have to retreat to first. It's a 1-2 count for Helfrich. With 2 away, runners on the corners. An 8-2 lead for the Oilers. Here goes Forche for second. Pitch swung on and belted to straightaway center field. Vergara is on it in the middle of the outfield, and he makes the catch. 11 batters come to the plate for the Oilers, and 6 runs come home. That all coming after Matsu had its electric rally in the bottom of the 7th to tie the game at 2-2. Now it's 8-2 Oilers, and the Miners are backed up against the wall. But fear not, because the top of the order is due up in Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara. We'll be back in just a moment. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. The Oilers lead 8-2 after a huge parade of walks in the top half of this inning that gave them 6 runs. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. There's a new arm on the hill for Kenai as well. Will Grimm replaces Ty Correa after his longest start of the season. A dynamic 7 innings, 2 runs, none of them earned though. Matsu is atop the order, due up in Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, and Alex Vergara. There's one hit between those three, and it came in Tucker's last at-bat in the 6th. He doubled down the left field line. Lefty-lefty matchup. Grimm comes into this game with a 1-0 record on the season, his 4th appearance on the hill. He's pitched against the Miners twice, both of them starts. First pitch to Tucker. This is low and away.
Called a strike.
Wow,
though.
that's called a strike. Jeez. That was a couple inches off the plate. Tucker turned back to the dugout in disbelief after that, so an 0-1 count. Pitch comes in. That one a little closer, called a strike on the slider. 0-2 count for Tucker. He stretches back into the box. He's 1 for 3 with a double and a strikeout. Grimm comes set. Pitches from the stretch. Tucker checks his swing on something blown away. The base umpire says that Tucker did not go around, so it's a 1-2 count. Nolan went on a 4-game drought for hitting, but broke it today, the 1-2. This is blown away. He had a pair of extra base hits in the first leg of the July 4th doubleheader on Tuesday. No hits in Game 2, no hits on Wednesday. No hits yesterday against the Chinooks, but he has one today. The 2-2. He swings, grounds out to second base. Ujimori is there, scoops it and lobs it on to first. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. And that brings up Cooper Vest, who's searching for his first hit of the day.
Now batting, your first baseman, number 17, Cooper Vest.
The BYU product and Matsu's first baseman is 0 for 3. He grounded out to second, flied out to center, and popped out to second in his 3 plate appearances today. Grimm comes set, pitches from the stretch. Curveball misses up high. Grimm threw against the Miners on Wednesday. He recorded 4 innings in that game. The 1-0. Slider blown away, called a strike. Matsu won that game. He pitched 7-6. He walked a pair, struck out 2, got the start, allowed 1 unearned run. The 1-1. Bass checks the swing at a curveball up high. That missed, so it's a 2-1 count. 8-2 Oilers, bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody on base, 1 out. 2-1 pitch. He swings, lines it up the middle for a base hit. Cooper Vest aboard with a sharp shot up the middle, and Matsu has some life.
What a beautiful base hit for Cooper Vest. Like Barrera, seems like almost every game now, he just mashes one on a frozen rope right back up the middle.
Number 16, Alex Vergara.
Well, you could use some more of that mojo from Alex Vergara, who comes up to the plate now on the right side. He's 0 for 3. He has yet to leave the infield with 3 groundouts. 1 away, runner on first. The pitch. The righty watches a curveball inside for a ball. The Oilers infield at double play depth with second baseman Ujimori playing right by the bag. The 1-0. Another curveball, this one just a little bit to the right and called a strike. Vergara went 2 for 4 yesterday. He had a clutch 2-run triple that gave Matsu the lead over the Chinooks. The pitch. Waits on the curveball up high. A big gap between first and second base. Ujimori playing right by the bag, and Forche covering first to hold Vest in check. 2-1. In the dirt, ball 3. Vergara ended a 2-game hitless stretch with his 2 for 4 showing yesterday. The 3-1. Swings and misses in front of the curveball. Matsu has a lineup of solid curveball hitters. We've seen Maddox Haley just dig into inside breaking pitches from right-handed throwers. Haven't seen him a lot against lefties. He's in the hole. The 3-2. Vergara swings, pops it to deep left field, but not enough air under it. Center fielder Nick Costello calls out Drewby Pinkston in left center. It looked good off the bat, but there's a light breeze blowing in towards home, and it just carried the ball back from its destination, which looked like it could have been at the wall. There's two away with a runner on first, and the 6-run Oilers lead in the bottom of the 8th. Steven Lancia, the batter at the plate now. He reached on an error last time up and scored Matsu's only run thus far. The lefty deals to the righty. He watches a curveball high and away for a strike. Lancia has reached base in every start this season. Of course, he joined the team late. The pitch, swings and misses, dropped to a knee on the curveball. This is his 13th start. And, of course, he's, like I said, reached base every single one of those starts. The pitch drops to a knee, swinging and missing at a curveball inside. And Matsu strands Cooper Vest on first. We head to the 9th inning, 8-2, the Oilers lead.
Yourself a 50-50 ticket.
It's the final frame of regulation play at Herman Brothers Field. The top of 9th coming your way with the Oilers up 8-2 over the hometown Miners. With Austin Barach on Jesse Cook, Matsu is a new pitcher on the hill. Out goes Mario Bejarano. In comes the sidearm righty Larry Westall. Bejarano went a third of an inning, allowed 1 hit. No runs himself, however, 3 inherited runs came across, and went to the docket of Will Rizzo. Bejarano walked 1. Westall has the 7-8-9 hitters here in the top of the 9th. It's Michael Elko, Ty Thomas, and Raisanuji Mori. Elko digs in from the left side. Westall is making his 8th appearance of the year. His first pitch is swung on and belted into right field for a hit. Michael Elko was aboard for the first time today after an 0-for-4 start. Took the inside fastball and turned on it well. 1 pitch, 1 base runner. Westall, in 13 2/3 innings pitched this season, has an earned run average of 263. His whip hanging right at 1.24. And Caleb Hanna's had an equipment malfunction. Couldn't get his sunglasses right and had to run off the field and hand them to Sebastian Tomerlin, and every other day center fielder for Matsu. And he heads back to the bench with him. Hanna's back at third. The pitch. This is high and away to Thomas. Westall has his parent in attendance, all the way from Texas. And his mom yesterday was wearing a Matsu Miners Crazy Larry shirt.
Yes.
His slider comes in for a strike, lone away. And keep in mind, the Miners did not make that shirt. That is out of Larry's mom's doing, so good on her. The 1-1. Forces a swing and miss, another slider lone away, and he's ahead of Thomas with a 1-2 count. Nobody out, runner on first base here in the top of the 9th. The Oilers up by 6. Westall comes set. He slings it. Fastball misses away for ball 2.
Yeah, Larry's parents, very nice people. They applaud us for calling him a nice guy.
Larry is a nice guy. The 2-2. This is inside for the ball. It's a full count for Thomas. Larry is a nice guy. I never got the crazy Larry nickname. He's always seemed like very normal and likable Larry to us. I guess it's because of his sidearm delivery. 3-2. Swung on, popped up, left to first base. Vest charges in near the dugout, and he makes a one-handed grab. He went over to his left, fighting the sun, peering out over the backstop, and on the warning track next to his coach, Ty LeBrun, he made the grab. That's the first out of the 9th inning, and it brings up the 9-man and Ryson Ujimori. He had an impactful walk his last time up. It loaded the bases and set up that big set of walks for the Oilers that brought home all 6 of those runs. First pitch to the lefty. He takes a hefty cut and miss on the front door changeup. Ujimori has yet to record a hit today. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. The pitch, he swings, laces it to the right side and through to right field. Ujimori is aboard with his first hit of the day, and that moves Elko into second just in time for the top of the order to take their 6th cuts.
Now batting, shortstop number 3, Owen McElpatrick.
So it's Owen McElpatrick. He has no hits today. He's 0 for 2, but he's reached on a pair of walks and also recorded a sacrifice bunt in the 7th, although that didn't amount to any runs. Righty-righty matchup. Westall comes in. Slider misses low and away for a ball. Elko on second, Ujimori on first. McElpatrick, the batter, at the plate. It's 8-2 Oilers in the top of the 9th with 1 away. The 1-0. Slider again misses high and away. Westall keeps going to the breaking well. This might be an outing where he was just told, keep it in control, but try some new stuff. It's a pretty wide game at the moment. 2-0. Front door slider for a strike. Larry told me if he ever comes up against a sidearm hitter, that he would throw overhand for that.
What does a sidearm hitter look like?
I don't know. I don't think you'd see him. 2-1. Swung on and popped foul off to the right side. I think maybe if you just had a big uppercut, you might be a submarine hitter.
Yeah.
I think everyone's a sidearm hitter.
I guess so. You don't see too many overhead chops.
I would like to see an overhead chop. 2-2 from Westall. Swung on, roped up the middle and through to center field. Elko rounds third. Vergara picks up the ball, fires it to the shortstop Barreras, and he lets the run score. That makes it a 9-2 game in favor of the Oilers with runners on first and second and still 1 away. That brings up the lefty, Drewby Pinkston. He had that controversial hit back in the 4th inning. That seems like ages ago. First pitch to him. Slider in on the ankles for a ball. He hit a nub right off the infield dirt surrounding home plate. Catcher Steven Lancia said the ball hit his glove, but the umpire didn't agree. The pitch. Fastball low for a ball. The umpire made no motion, meaning that the ball was fair. Pinkston ran off for first. Lancia didn't know that the umpire had not called it a foul ball, like he thought it should be. And after further review between the umpires, they called him safe at first. Pitch comes in for a strike. It's a 2-1 count to Pinkston. Those 6 runs last inning came through with a 2-out rally of walks. There was only 1 hit in that stretch. 2-1. Pinkston swings, drives it to center field. Vergara is there. He barely has to move. He makes the catch, throws on to third base, and he keeps Ujimori in check on second. There's 2 away here in the top of the 9th. The Oilers lead 9-2. However, they're only leading in the hit department 11-8.
Now batting, center fielder number 26, Nick Costello.
That brings up Nick Costello. He's 1 for 4. He's got a pair of RBIs and 2 runs scored as well. He walked his way aboard last time up in the 8th in that series of 5 consecutive walks. Westall's pitch. Calling a strike, blown away. This was a game that Matsu tied. It was 2-2 with 2 away in the top of the 8th. And then things just unraveled with that parade of walks. The 0-1 swung on and missed, blown away. Westall's stuff is working well. He's attacking the zone, sure he allowed a run, but the positive thing for Matsu is that it's coming off of hits and not walks. The team has to work on throwing strikes. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Westall strikes him out. The Oilers do 1 run's damage, so Matsu has a 7-run hill to climb in the bottom of the 9th, but we've seen the Miners score 7 in 1 frame before. It's not too distant of a hope. Matsu, as the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up to try and incite a rally with Maddox Haley, Caden Carpenter, and Landon Rogers. It's 9-2 Oilers. We move on to the bottom of the 9th. It's the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Miners are backed up against the wall. The Oilers lead 9-2. I'm Jesse Cook. To my right is Austin Barach. Will Grimm is on the hill for his 2nd inning of work. He will record the win if he can hold out, but he's got to deal with the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Miners lineup first in Maddox Haley, Caden Carpenter, and Landon Rogers. Haley today is 0 for 3. He struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 5th, then flied out last time up in the 7th. Lefty deals to the righty. Misses low on the curveball. Matsu has scored 7 runs in an inning before. It has happened in that comeback win over the Glacier Pilots a couple Wednesdays ago. The 1-0. Misses up high and away. That came in the second leg of a 7-inning doubleheader. They beat the Glacier Pilots on the road at Mulcahy Stadium 10-5. Grimm's 2-0. This is low for a ball. In that inning, the Miners only recorded 4 hits against the Glacier Pilots pitching. There was a sea of 5 walks involved in that. Haley ahead 3-0 on the count. The pitch. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. Matsu has yet to mount a comeback of that magnitude at home. But the thought that it has happened must feel good to this team. There is a little bit of hope. The 3-1. Haley swings, pitter-patters it to short. McElpatrick fields it on the run. He darts it to first, and he got him by a step. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 9th. That brings up Caden Carpenter, who has been a bright spot for Matsu. Him and Landon Rogers each have a pair of hits.
Caden Carpenter.
Carpenter snuck his way on board in the 5th with an infield hit to 3rd and battered one to right his first time up back in the 2nd inning. Last time up, though, he struck out swinging. Grimm comes set. He deals. Fastball misses low for a ball. Matsu's 2 runs tied the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. They came around with this set of batters. The 1-0. Called strike, blown away on the fastball. Steven Lancia reached on an error, and then Maddox Haley and Caden Carpenter helped move him over, and Landon Rogers moved him to third. Emilio Barreras brought Lancia home for that first run. The 1-1. That skips up dirt for a ball. Rogers hit a double to put Lancia on third, and Barreras singled to bring him home, and then Rogers scored on the next play on a wild pitch. That made it 2-2. The 2-1 to Carpenter. He swings and hits it sharp up the middle for a base hit. His third knock of the day, and Matsu is a man on base.
You're right, Jesse. Caden Carpenter has certainly been a bright spot in this lineup that has heated up as of late, and sneakily has 9 hits this game.
That's right, 9 hits. Runners left on base have been a persistent issue for Matsu this season, but it doesn't seem that bad when you think about the fact that only 2 men have been left in scoring position today. Landon Rogers stands on the right side of the plate. First pitch to him is a ball inside. The designated hitter is 2 for 3. So Matsu tied the game thanks to his tactful base running, but then the following half inning, the top of the 8th, was disastrous. The 1-0, Rogers swings ahead of the curveball, and that's a strike. Will Rizzo, who had been so reliable for the Miners all season, suddenly got bit by the walk bug, hit one batter and walked the next 4. Mario Bejarano came on and walked his next batter. Rogers fouls it to the backstop. That made it 8-2 Oilers, and then when Larry Westall was on the hill last inning, the Peninsula strung together a trio of hits to elevate their lead to 9-2. They only have 11 hits. The 1-2. Check swing up high. That's a ball.
Remember, it wasn't that long ago when Landon Rogers slid in safely from third base, pumped his fist in celebration. The whole crowd was really galvanized.
Now it's a 2-2 count with 1 away. The pitch. Backdoor curveball misses up high. Full count with a runner on first and 1 away. It's 9-2 Oilers in this Sunday matinee. Pitch. This is up high, ball 4, and there's 2 men aboard for Matsu. That brings up Emilio Barreras. He extended his hit streak to 8 games with that single last time up.
It's a really good take from Landon Rogers, right above the chest. And now, a little something brewing here.
There is some positive news for Matsu out of the Chugiak Anchorage Glacier Pilots game. The Chinooks won 5-4. First pitch to Barreras, he squares to bunt and fouls off the left side. The Chinooks won that game 5-4. The Glacier Pilots are in 3rd place. Now a game and a half behind the Miners, pending the outcome of this one. The Miners lose and will revert back to a game. Pitch. Curveball misses high and in. 1-1 count. The Bucks stand at first overall in the standings with a 15-10 record. Right now, a game ahead of the Miners, who are at 13-10, but that could drop soon. The 1-1. Barreras swings and misses, unsure on the curveball, and he followed through shakily. It's a 1-2 count to the left-handed hitting shortstop out of Grand Canyon. It's a 7-run lead for the Oilers with 1 away and runners on first and second in the bottom of the 9th. Grimm deals. Barreras swings and pops it up off the inside part of the bat to shortstop, but Grimm calls off his infielders and makes the catch himself, losing his hat in the process. And with that, the Miners are down to their final out. It's up to Caleb Hannes to incite the rally now. He has a hit today, singled on the infield dirt in the 3rd inning. But besides that, has a ground out to first and a pop out behind that same first base bag. Grimm comes set. The lefty deals in the dirt for a ball. That second leg of the Chugiak Anchorage doubleheader has some bearing on the standings at the end of today. That one started about 40 minutes ago. The 1-0. Misses low for a ball. Rather, that game was scheduled to start 40 minutes ago, and it will start in about 15 minutes. 2-0 count for Hannes, lefty-righty matchup. The pitch. He watches a curveball at the knees for a strike. Landon Rogers on first, Caden Carpenter on second. Those two have had positive days with 5 hits between them. 2-1. In the dirt. Scoots in front of the catcher, Griffin, but there's no action on the base path. It's a hitter's count for Hannahs. The top of the order awaits on deck in Nolan Tucker. If Matsu wants to have a shot at tying this game, they need to get back to Maddox Haley in the order. The 3-1 catches the lower part of the zone for strike 2, and it's a full count. The Oilers lead 9-2. There's 2 away runners on first and second in the bottom of the 9th, and a full count for Caleb Hannahs. Matsu down to its final strike in this Sunday afternoon affair. Grimm from the stretch. Hannah swings and misses. It's in the dirt. Griffin picks up, throws on to first, and that does it. The Oilers rallied with 5 consecutive walks back in the 8th inning to elevate themselves to the win. 9-2, Peninsula the final on this Sunday.
Before giveaway, reminder tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Matsu will remain in the second place, an uncontested position no matter what the outcome of today's game between the Glacier Pilots and the Chinooks will be. Because that first game went the way of Chugiak in that doubleheader. The Glacier Pilots are a game behind the Miners, so if they lose, they'll be a game and a half back. If they win, they will be half a game behind Matsu for second place. But the Valley is a game and a half out of first behind those Bucks, who have occupied the first place spot for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, disappointing outcome today, but it really just came down to that eighth inning, really. You know, it's a great job by the Miners to come back and score a pair of runs in the bottom of the 7th. That's fight. That's fight right there against the starting pitcher in Ty Correa, who went 7 innings. Before that 7th inning, he was basically unhittable. And to storm back and get those 2 runs to tie the game and have all that energy, you figure you're in a good spot. You know, sometimes the bullpen doesn't have their A stuff. That's just baseball. It happens. You know, you play a season and stuff like this will occur. But you just one game, you drop to 13-11, get a reset tomorrow again with the All-Star, with the game against the Legion All-Stars. So that game won't count towards the standings. And then you get right back to it on Tuesday.
That's right. Tomorrow, Matsu will match up with the high school squadron of the Legion Valley All-Stars, the best that the American Legion has to offer. And then on Tuesday, it's another 6 p.m. affair, just like what it is tomorrow. It's a 6 p.m. affair with the Chinooks at home. That will be Napa Alaskan Auto Day. A big thank you to Napa Auto Parts, who sponsors the Matsu Miners broadcast. Them and the Alaska Highway Safety Commission. The Miners dropped this one 9-2. That means they finished the week at 4-2. Had that 3-game winning stretch over these Oilers back on the Peninsula. And that nice semi-off day tomorrow will do wonders. They're going to try some stuff in the field. We'll have players up in the broadcast booth, so you get to learn more about a lot of different members of the team. So make sure you stay tuned for that. This one ends at 9-2 for Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. The Oilers win this one, but the Miners will be back. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.